Shabbat shalom, family.
Shabbat shalom.
Praise to the Most High. We got to see another Sabbath. Shout out on His word. We're going to get our opening prayer going. 1 Kings, 8th chapter. Daniel, the 6th chapter. 1 Chronicles 11. 1 Timothy and 2 that give us our order and direction we should pray. Not praying to no rock.
Thank you.
But most of y'all know this by now.
Thank you, Creator.
If you don't know, now you know. That's it. But we're going to get this prayer on and with the Most High permission, feast on His word.
That's what's up. We'll get this opening prayer with the Most High's permission. In the name of His only beloved and begotten Son, our uncrowned King, our Lord and Savior,
That's Him.
Yahushua HaMashiach. And we all know him as Jesus the Christ.
Yes.
Say, long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 131st chapter,
Yes.
it reads, Yahweh, my heart is not haughty, nor mine eyes lofty. Neither do I exercise myself in great matters, or in things too high for me. Surely I have behaved and quieted myself as a child that is weaned of his mother. My soul is even as a weaned child. Let Yisrael hope in the Most High, henceforth and forever. Hallelujah! Selah! Yes, sir. Short and sweet, y'all. Yes, sir.
All praises, y'all. We got on the board. Get that together. Because in these times, that's what we need to be doing, getting that together. Because there's troubling times out here. The earth is having birth pains. About to shake up.
Yes.
Are you prepared?
Yes.
Do you have all your ducks in a row?
Get your house in order.
Get that together. That's what we're going to talk about today. Things we ought to be doing, because there's a lot of different doctrines out there. You go on social media, you got people telling you to flee, run over here. If you ain't with us, you ain't no good. You ain't got the truth. All kind of different stuff going on out here. But we're going to examine some of these things. Some people say you need to flee away from the cities. You need to get away from the cities. That's what set apart means. Lot was with Sodom and Gomorrah until it was incinerated.
Sure was. That's right.
He was a light amongst darkness until it was incinerated.
Right.
So are we sure that's what we're supposed to be doing? Just because another man's supposed to be out there, do that mean you supposed to be out there? Do you know how to talk to the Most High and get to know His perfect will for your life? Because everybody got different gifts.
Yes, sir.
Everybody got different things. We got all different ways that we can contribute to this body.
That's right.
Last week I played cameraman.
Yes, sir.
So we have to contribute as best we can to keep this body moving.
Yes, sir.
The body of Hamashiach. I ain't just talking about this body down here.
That's right.
So let's get that going with Galatians 5 first off.
Good?
We're going to hit Galatians 5 first.
Doing the whole
Start
thing.
out. Get some understanding about what we need to be doing to get that together. Get all our things together. Make sure all our ducks in a row.
Yes, sir.
So we can serve the Most High the way He see fit and not the way we see fit.
That's right.
Because your own understanding can start to seem right.
Uh-oh.
Sam, may I say one thing, how the Spirit is just leading us, because last night in women's class we did Galatians 5.
Oh, crazy. Well, it came to me this morning. Galatians chapter 5.
Reading in the book of Galatians, in the 5th chapter, we'll start our reading in verse 1. Let's get some understanding, family.
Yes, sir.
Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Hamashiach hath made us free. And be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Behold, I, Paul, say unto you, that if ye be circumcised, Hamashiach shall profit you nothing. For I testify again to every man that is circumcised, that he is a debtor to do the whole law. Hamashiach is become of no effect unto you. Whosoever of you are justified by the law, ye are fallen from grace. For we, through the Spirit, wait for the hope of righteousness by faith. For we, through the Spirit, wait for the hope of righteousness by faith.
Run, nigga, run.
For in Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, neither circumcision availeth anything, nor uncircumcision, but faith which worketh by love. Ye did run well, who did hinder you that ye should not obey the truth. This persuasion cometh not of him that calleth you.
What?
This persuasion cometh not of him that calleth you.
So you're running well don't come from him that calleth you.
That's right.
Where you running to? Where you gonna escape tribulation at? Matter of fact, where you gonna escape sin at? I don't care where you go, sin coming with you.
That's right.
You pack a bag, sin packing a bag too.
Sin in your bag.
You could go live down at the bottom of the ocean and sin gonna be down there with you.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Verse 9. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. I have confidence in you through the Most High, that ye will be none otherwise minded. But he that troubleth you shall bear his judgment, whosoever he be. And I, brethren, if I yet preach circumcision, why do I yet suffer persecution? Then is the offense of the cross ceased. I would they were even cut off which trouble you. For brethren, ye have been called unto liberty. Only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh.
Say that again, please. Say that again, please. Because we got a lot of this going on. People serving themselves, and they ain't serving the Most High. Come on.
For brethren, ye have been called unto liberty. Only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another. For all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. But, go ahead, bro.
It's a whole lot of not love in our community. It can't be love. This can't be love that we be seeing. And then what is it doing to the non-believers?
Boy,
Hebrews over there tripping.
is this what it's like?
They used to be family. Look at them now. Clowning each other constantly. And it's worldwide. It ain't just in one spot. It ain't just affecting us. This is as a whole for our people. If you ain't doing it like I'm doing it, you off. I'ma cry loud and spare not.
Right.
You sure you right? Have you been examining yourself?
Right.
Because your own understanding will start to seem right. And then you will be totally off and think you righteous.
And teaching it.
And teaching it.
Right.
Therefore, those words coming out your mouth shall defile you. Come on, man.
Verse 15.
I'm going to let the scriptures talk. I'm going to shut up.
But if ye bite and devour one another, take heed that ye be not consumed one of another. This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. and these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would.
Now, according to this, we in a constant battle.
Yes, sir.
The spirit and your flesh is in constant battle, and they contrary to one another. So that means you got to be on guard and be on your game at all times.
That's right.
Because God forbid you see one of them unrighteous acts and say, oh, ain't nothing wrong with that. I can have a little fun. Ooh, wee. Ooh, wee. Well, it's a terrible thing. Come on.
Verse 18. But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law.
So do that mean we can go sinning?
No. Yah forbid.
That's what the Christian church believes. Come on.
Now, the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Yah.
That's pretty cut and dry, ain't it? Them are the things that's going to keep you from the kingdom. Boy, are you sure you're not doing those things? Some of them things is a blurry line. You may think you ain't doing it,
Right.
but you very well may be doing it. I mean, I know we all need money, but how far are you going to get that dollar?
How important is that dollar?
How important is it to you? You gonna cross that line in the sand to get it?
Right.
Because we gonna read later on, the birds, Most High feed them.
Right.
So how much more you really need? How much more you going out your way to get a dollar for? And mind you, with everything you do, you're taking time away from the Most High. Everything you add to your life is taking time away from the Most High. It becomes a distraction. And if you ain't on your game, you will veer all the way to the left and be off.
Yeah.
Come on.
Verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
So now we know what we should be doing.
Right.
Those are the things we should be doing to inherit the kingdom. If you're doing those things, you are no longer under the law because you are no longer a sinner.
That's right.
Not meaning you can go sin because you ain't under the law. That means you ain't sinning no more. That's the only way to be free from the law, is to totally be in obedience to it. You have to be. Come on.
Verse 24. And they that are Hamashiachs have crucified the flesh with the affections and lust. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not be desirous of vain glory, provoking one another, envying one another.
Now, I see a whole lot of all that going on in Israel. Provoking, envy, glory, people being vain and glorious. I did this.
Right.
You did that, or did the Most High give you the ability to do that?
Ooh, stop it.
Huh? We got to get that together, y'all. We got to get that together. I'm guilty too. I get puffed up sometimes, and I had to check myself. That's why you constantly hear me saying all praise to the Most High.
That's right.
If you ever try to acknowledge me for anything, that's the first thing you're going to hear out of my mouth. Because I'm taking the glory away from me.
Yes, sir.
I'm a servant, partner.
Yes, sir.
I'm here to serve.
It's through him all things are possible.
Right. Let's get Leviticus 19, 1 through 18.
That's toward the front of the book, y'all.
Thank you for that illustration. We should be able to find it now.
Just thought I'd help. Everybody there? All right, we'll be reading in the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and we'll read verses 1 through 18. Let's get some understanding, y'all. Moses, I'm tripping. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, Ye shall be holy, for I, Yahweh, your power, am holy. Ye shall fear every man his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbaths. I am the Most High, your Elohim. Turn ye not unto idols, nor make to yourselves molten gods. I am Yahweh, your power. And if ye offer a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Most High, ye shall offer it at your own will.
No, you're supposed to let somebody force you to do it.
At your own will. It shall be eaten the same day ye offer it, and on the morrow, and if aught remain until the third day, it shall be burnt in the fire. And if it is eaten at all on the third day, it is abominable. It shall not be accepted. Therefore, everyone that eateth it shall bear his iniquity, because he hath profaned at the hallowed thing of the Most High. And that soul shall be cut off from among his people. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the gleanings of thy harvest.
That's your alms right there, y'all. That's alms. You leaving something for the poor and needy. Go ahead.
And thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard. Thou shalt leave them for the poor and stranger. I am Yahweh, your Elohim. Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another. And ye shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy Elohim.
Now you would think that these things we just read right here ain't going on in Israel. Guess again. Guess they are. They running rapid. The wheat and the tares is definitely coming up together. And if you study for yourself, you can see it. But if you just following, your own understanding is starting to seem right. And you just following along. Come on.
I am the Lord. Verse 13. Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning.
So you ain't supposed to be holding back that money you owe your brother. He came and did some work. You supposed to pay him what you told him you was gonna pay him. I'm gonna get you next week, dog. I gotta get this game, the new Call of Duty coming out. Hey man, I wouldn't put nothing past nobody, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
Verse 14. Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shalt fear thy Elohim. I am the Most High. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty. But in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor.
That's right.
Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people.
That's definitely going all through Israel right now.
Whew, stop it already. Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Most High. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
So seems like a haterade is at an all-time high around here.
Selling well in the loo. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am thy Lord. Ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind.
On that anyway. We stopping at 18 on that one.
Okay.
Not Romans 12. My bad. I knew something was going on.
Yeah, you know me.
That's one of my few not whole chapters. And if y'all notice, I like to give the whole chapter. That way you can't never say Boaz said nothing. I had the scriptures, I had my bullet points, but then we wind up reading the whole chapter. So you can make sure that what I'm saying is in context. Because I done seen one scripture Molly even in Israel.
Yeah.
And it's a shame.
Yeah, you know, some
It needs to
brothers,
be stopped.
they know the script so well, they can manipulate
They
these
manipulate the
words to say
scripture, use
whatever.
one scripture, and have you selling the phone.
Be like, what?
And because you ain't studying for yourself and got respect of persons,
Right.
you running right along to it. Straight to the lake. Then you wonder what's wrong. Well, he said he can't stand there for you. We gonna read that too today. He can't stand there for you. Right. Come on, Romans 12.
Reading in the book of Romans, in the 12th chapter, start our reading in verse 1. And it reads, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yah, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto Yah, which is your reasonable service.
Your reasonable service.
The least you can do.
It's the least you can do. He gave you breath this morning.
And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yah.
Now
Go ahead.
that's how you be set apart. That's how you get set apart. Not running off and being away from everybody.
Yeah.
That's like the man that set it up in the napkin. Huh? You want to be that with your salvation? You want to set it up in the napkin and keep it amongst Israel? Or you going to go out and be a light like you're supposed to be? Come on.
Verse 3. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as Yah hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we, being many, are one body in the Mashiach, and every one member one of another, having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith, or ministry, let us wait on our ministering, or he that teacheth on teaching, or he that exhorteth on exhortation. He that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. He that ruleth, with diligence.
Let's see faith, bro.
He that showeth mercy, with cheerfulness.
You're going to have a whole bunch of water. I'm glad you showed up.
Oh boy, all praise,
Glad you
bro.
showed up because he was going to be thirsty. Come on.
Yeah, bro. I'm just glad to see you, bro. Dap me up, baby. That last picture of you I saw was not flattering. I'm sure.
Like on the edge of
was checked out, bro.
Yeah, man, we can't have that, dog. You got to call me before you ready to check out next
And
time.
that's just the thing for the Worldwide Assembly. Some of our brothers have been ailing lately. Him being one, Uriah being another. Uriah just had an operation yesterday, the day before yesterday. Yeah, so we
Yeah, I'm just getting out of
he just got out the hospital yesterday. So, you know, y'all send up some prayers for your brothers. You know, you got to keep that health together. Ain't none of us bring chicken.
And ain't none of us promised tomorrow. Don't put off those things and be thinking you got time. We ain't got that time. It's not promised.
Because what happened to me happened in a matter of seconds.
And that's why what this class is talking about, you got to get that together. That's about
Boy, y'all see those cat-like reflexes? Run up if you want to.
But that's why we got to get that together too, y'all, because you never know.
That's right.
You never know when your time gonna come. You never know when your whole life gonna change.
That's right. Flick the wrist.
It don't take nothing but one thought.
A twinkling of an eye.
Flick the wrist.
Let me tell you how quick it happened. My son and I was watching a movie, and I told him pause the movie because I was feeling a little wheezy. I'm gonna go upstairs and take me a treatment. By the time I got to the top of the steps, my airways completely cut off. I couldn't breathe in, I couldn't breathe out. I was suffocating. Literally. And all praise to the Most High. My sons called the ambulance and paramedics, and they came and administered treatments and steroid shot to open up my airways. Because my airways completely closed, collapsed. And I could not breathe. I was literally suffocating in a matter of seconds. It just happened, just that quick. From me being downstairs with my son to me getting to the top of my steps, it was almost lights out. But because I know the Most High and His Holy Begotten Son, I screamed out His name. And it was when, at that point, that the medication started getting into my system. But at that time, it was at the end of the medication. By that time, the paramedics had showed up.
Thank you.
So it was, shalom, brother.
About you,
So, the thing is, I'm just here to say that we can't take for granted what was lent to us, which is life.
That's right.
That's right.
Thank you.
And if you have not Christ, you have nothing.
Come on.
So without the Most High, knowing the Most High and His Holy Begotten Son, trust me, y'all, ain't no way to make it in this. You can't make it without. You gotta have him in that equation. Without him in that equation, it ain't happening.
Yes, sir.
So, I want to say thank you all to the Worldwide and everybody that gave up prayers for me and my brethren,
Thank you, Creator.
because they worked.
Thank you, Creator.
And this was just a matter of days ago. I was admitted in the hospital Wednesday night. I'm here today.
That's another testament to the class. Get that together.
Yes. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Creator.
Ariel forgot where he was at. Do anybody know?
Verse 9 or something. We'll go to
Something like
verse
that.
9.
We're in Romans chapter 12, verse 9. The name of the class is Get That Together.
Verse 8 says, I'm going to read 8 again.
I said 8, but you ain't going to listen.
Yeah, Elisha threw me all the way off. Right? I'm like, whoa. What's up?
Blessing to see my brother walk in
Praise
here.
to the Father, man.
Thank you.
Woo, all right. The book of Romans, chapter 12. We'll pick it up in verse 8. You there, bro? Sounds good. All right.
Thank you.
Or he that exhorteth on exhortation, he that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. He that ruleth with diligence, he that showeth mercy with cheerfulness. Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil. Cleave to that which is good.
So you're supposed to hate the evil. Huh? Not, oh, they all right over there. You know, they do their thing, but you know, they cool people. That's the attitude we supposed to have with evil.
No, not at all.
Come on.
Verse 10. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love, and honor preferring one another. Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Most High, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation.
The tribulation is going to come if you serve the Most High, y'all.
That's right. That's right.
You don't start serving the Most High and your life just become peachy. I'm sorry.
That's right.
You've been given a fairy tale if you believe that. Come on.
Continuing instant in prayer, distributing to the necessity of saints, given to hospitality. Bless them which persecute you. Bless and curse not. Rejoice with them that do rejoice, and weep with them that weep. Be of the same mind one toward another. Mind not high things, but condescend to men of low estate. Be not wise in your own conceits. Recompense to no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of all men.
So you can't get that nigga back?
No,
I can't get him back.
forget about it. Keep it moving. Verse 18. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men.
Now y'all do hear that right. Read that one again. It say, if it be possible.
Right.
Read it again, because you know a lot of people like to twist that. Oh, you ain't of the Most High. Yeah, our God is a God of wrath. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we supposed to be peaceful. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
Don't let the Bible fool you.
Read that one again, man.
Verse 18. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath.
The Most High, He's the ultimate get backer. That's right. You take the vengeance on yourself, you ain't doing nothing but write His wrath off of now.
Yeah.
Because you took it into your own hands. Come on.
For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Most High. Therefore, in thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in so doing, thou shalt heap coals of fire on his ass, on his head. I'm sorry, y'all.
That was spark the nerve in you.
Yeah. Coals on it.
Hey, boy, I was sure looking at her. Man, I've been overlooking
Oh, man.
Verse 21. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good.
But overcome evil with good.
That's what's up.
We going to Proverbs 15, 16, and 17. We're going to be in Proverbs a lot today, y'all, because when it comes to how you supposed to act, Proverbs is a good book to read. It gives you understanding. You can get 20 lessons out of one chapter. So we're going to hit a whole lot of Proverbs today, so we can all get that together. We're going to hit 15, 16, and 17 first.
Yeah.
We're going to hit them first. What the end of that Romans say, be not overcome with evil, but overcome evil with good.
That's right.
Kill them with kindness.
When all possible though. Remember that's in that chapter 2. When it's possible.
That's right.
Live peaceably with men.
Some people won't allow you to live peacefully.
We're gonna read about that. There's a lot of people that they live to cause issues. I know a Hebrew that we know very well that we hung with. I've seen him spew out some wickedness out of his mouth. And then when I look at him to say something, he wink at me. He was doing it just to cause conflict. He didn't believe it, but he wanted that conflict.
Right.
So I just shut up at that point and just sat back and watched.
Wow.
But come on.
Just knowing you Hebrew don't mean you change all the time.
No, you got to put off the old man.
Right.
Just knowing you Hebrew ain't gonna do it. I'm Hebrew. I know I'm Hebrew. I'm good now. No, your work is just beginning.
Some people become even more wicked once they find out.
Right.
Now I can manipulate these scriptures and God sanctioned
About to
it.
say that.
Yeah, right.
The rest of those words, they twist the words, man, once they know them. Right. Gotta watch these brothers.
Yeah, because the devil know them too.
Son.
And that's what we have to always understand. And knowledge puffeth up. That's script. Knowledge will puff your head up.
Right.
Come on, Proverbs chapter 17.
Oh, I thought we said 15.
Oh, my bad. That's why I don't like talking so much. 'Cause I start tripping. I be tripping when I run my mouth. That's why I try to stay a humble servant. 15. We gonna get to 17. How about that?
Yes, sir.
Proverbs 15.
Let you know that.
All right, we're in the book of Proverbs, chapter 15. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger.
I used to have big time problems with that one, y'all.
I'm sure.
You ain't got to speak up like that. I'm telling you.
You know your voice is so
Yeah,
loud.
I know it. But that was my point. Because I'm loud, sometimes I might not even mean nothing a certain way. But because I'm loud, they take it that way.
Yeah.
So now I'm in a battle and I'm sitting there wondering how I got there.
Right.
You ain't by yourself.
Yeah, you got that voice
Yeah,
too.
you ain't kidding, bro. You got that voice too.
Yeah, you a little fella. Yeah, you a giant in spirit. I ain't knocking that. I'm saying it can come in all packages.
There you go.
Come on.
Verse 2. The tongue of the wise uses knowledge of right, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness.
Keep that in mind, y'all.
The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good.
So he see it all. That's your first witness against you right there. And then you gonna be your second witness against you. How you get around that? Who you gonna get to not show up? Come on.
A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness therein is a breach in the spirit. A fool despises his father's instruction, but he that regardeth reproof is prudent. In the house of the righteous is much treasure, but in the revenues of the wicked is trouble. The lips of the wise disperse knowledge, but the heart of the foolish doeth not so. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. The way of the wicked is an abomination unto the Lord, but he loveth him that followeth after righteousness. Correction is grievous unto him that forsaketh the way.
Don't be telling me what to do, nigga. It's grievous when you going against the grain. But if you trying to walk the right way, you all, oh, thanks, bro. Thank you. I was finna fall off that leg.
Right.
Come on. You forgot where you was? You better use your finger.
Yeah, I'm still in 10. See, I'm on, man. And he that hateth reproof shall die. Hell and destruction are before the Lord. How much more than the hearts of the children of men? A scorner loveth not one that reproveth him, neither will he go unto the wise. A merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken. The heart of him that hath understanding seeketh knowledge, but the mouth of fools feedeth on foolishness.
Get you up to what you want.
All the days of the afflicted are evil, but he that is of a merry heart hath a continual feast.
So we've been reading the wicked is their days is evil. They thoughts are abominations. They everything is abomination. It's just bad for if you wicked. Huh? Who trying to be that? Are we checking ourselves daily? Because it ain't hard to go off, y'all. It ain't hard to go off. We living in a society where everybody off. And you could get sucked in to somebody's mess without even thinking.
Many sin over small matters.
Yeah. Come on.
Verse 16. Better is little with the fear of the Lord than great treasures and trouble therewith.
Read that one again.
Better is little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure and trouble therewith.
If he feed the birds every day, how much more we need? Huh? You got to have that big mansion? Come on.
Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a stalled ox and hatred therewith.
And I'm not saying you can't have no mansion, y'all. I'm saying don't cross the Most High trying to get it.
That's right.
Don't make mammon your God trying to get that. Then that house becomes your God. Right. Now you in your house like you God. It's your temple now, right? Come on now. Don't invite no brothers over there with that.
Right.
It ain't gonna go well. Come on.
Verse 18. A wrathful man stirreth up strife, but he that is slow to anger appeaseth strife. The way of the slothful man is as an hedge of thorns, but the way of the righteous is made plain. A wise son maketh a glad father, but a foolish man despises his mother. Folly is joy to him that is destitute of wisdom, but a man of understanding walketh uprightly. Without counsel, purposes are disappointed, but in the multitude of counselors they are established. A man have joy by the answer of his mouth, and a word spoken in due season. How good is it?
How good is it when you give somebody that word that they needed to hear at that moment?
It's just like Job, the story of Job. Elihu, the youngest cat of his three friends. And he was the only one that gave righteous judgment to Job. But it was his old friends that were considered elders that was giving him foul counsel. You know? But it was the young one who had more knowledge and understanding in his lips, and he reserved his peace until it was time to speak it in its due season. And it was joy unto Job, because at last he had found some righteous counsel from someone whom you least expected. It was the youngest of them.
Yep. Well,
Verse 24. The way of life is above to the wise, that he may depart from hell beneath. The Lord will destroy the house of the proud, but he will establish the border of the widow. The thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the Lord,
there it is again.
but the words of the pure are pleasant words. He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house.
He is what?
He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house. But he that hateth gifts shall live. The heart of the righteous studieth to answer.
That's right.
But the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things.
He's just saying whatever.
The Lord is far from the wicked, but he heareth the prayers of the righteous. The light of the eyes rejoices the heart,
Yes.
and a good report maketh the bones fat. The ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise. He that refuses instruction despises his own soul.
Say that again.
He that refuses instruction despises his own soul. But he that heareth reproof getteth understanding.
That's right.
The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility.
Well, we're going to go on, keep going into 16, then 17. We're getting some understanding out of this. And like I say, if you ever want to know how to act right, read Proverbs. Huh? It's act right all through it.
Proverbs is a book of dark sentences and pearl. And through studying and actually through experience and life experiences, you'll learn to understand a lot of these Proverbs, because a lot of the things that are written in Proverbs are through experience, life experience.
Yes, sir. All right, we're in chapter 16. The preparation of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weigheth the spirits. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil.
You don't waste nothing. You want to be evil, he gonna find a way for you.
Everything has
When he through using you, guess what he gonna do with you? Put them lights out. He ain't got no more use for you. You through.
That's why we must prepare ourselves for the kingdom and work, and our labors must be in the Lord.
Get that together.
Because, like I said, if you don't know him, you don't know what day is set for you.
That's right.
I had no idea. I could have been gone. I wouldn't be here today had I not known the Most High and His only begotten Son.
That's right.
We all check out because of sins. We don't know when that day gonna come. So just like in Romans 12, He has given our lives for a purpose. It was lent to us, and we owe it back. But while you have it, it behooves us to do righteous with it. Because if you don't have Christ, John 8, you die in your sins. Then there's the judgment.
Yes, sir.
That means spreading his word. Not just putting it in the napkin.
No, and not thinking that you can put off to a day further in the future what you know you need to be getting together today. Telling your people, hey, I love you. You dig? This is what y'all need to be doing to get yourself together. I'm trying to help myself, but part of my walk is to help other people. So if you know something and you ain't sharing it, you just like that brother who put his pound in the napkin and buried it. Then we supposed to be out there spreading this to every other nation, not just Hebrews. A well man don't need a doctor. So we're supposed to be trying to bring Dr. Yah to the world. You understand it? They're like Bruce say. I mean, I done been close to death too. I had a life and death experiences, and my people will tell you he was almost gone. When they called her and she came to the hospital, I was laid back on the gurney joint with my eyes closed, resting. She thought I was gone. But when I opened my eyes, she was happy. But you know, once you've had life almost taken away from you, that's when you realize how important it is and how you know, shit, I might not be here tomorrow. Let me make every day count. And even then, back then, I don't mean to hold up your class.
You all good. You speaking on the subject matter. Getting that together.
But see, back then, I I was worldly back then. I wasn't even in the truth then. Uriah had brought it to me, but I had kind of not rejected it because I knew all this other stuff wasn't right. But I put it to the side. I said, I'll get back to that. You dig? I was still carrying the thumper, wishing the nigga would, but now I wish they wouldn't. Just you know. But I could have died in my sin. But when I lived through it and I had my experience with the Most High, and I told my Rev, and I told her then, I said, I'm not living for me no more. God saved me. And I was like an atheist almost at that point. He knew. And I said, God saved me, man. I said, so whatever it is that he wants for me to do, like Brew just said, this is his body. This on loan to me. And it's getting kind of raggedy, so, you know, wish I trade it in, but, you know, I'll wait. But I told my wife, I said, if the Most High called me to be a preacher, which was the furthest thing from what I was then I got to do that. And I said, I know it's going to require not just going to church, it requires a lifestyle change.
Right.
You can't just pick up a Bible and think you all good. You got to change from in here first. Right. And once I came to the realization that God killed that old man on that pole when I took them 440 volts, because I was a cable man. I got electrocuted on the pole. And ain't supposed to be here, but I've been here. And I turned my life over to him because I knew at that point, nigga, wasn't man no more. So now, you dig, I do what I do, but I'm still just your brother. I'm a sinner. I repent daily, you know, but I ain't ever gonna be better than y'all. I ain't try not to be worse because I know some of y'all.
But see, you have to understand this, y'all. All of us that's here, the Most High waited on us.
Look over here.
He waited on all of us.
That's right.
That's right.
He tried to tell me the truth in the 20s, was Sam Swan.
Yeah.
And I never went to class, never even listened to him. Didn't even know this what he was on.
Yeah.
Right.
And like with him, Uriah gave it to me. Yeah, I went to California and changed, but I still wasn't doing none of the other stuff.
Right.
And then it took another time. It took me 3 times for it to finally catch on.
Right.
And I praise his name for giving me them 3 tries.
That's right.
Because in all them years, I could have died in wickedness, not knowing the things that I was doing. Like my brother just said.
You hadn't reached your bottom yet.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what it was. You hadn't reached your bottom.
Come on, y'all. And that's what we have to understand, too, when we look at other people that don't catch this truth. Right. It might not be their time. You know what I'm saying? Just like he waited on you, they might have to go through some more things so they can understand these scripts.
That's right.
Because that's what I credit my life experiences to me understanding these scripts so well. It took that. Had I not done some of the things I did, I wouldn't understand these the way I do. Some of it would just be going over my head.
You wouldn't appreciate it.
Right.
Wouldn't appreciate it. But now I can read it and look back and be like, ooh.
What you got, bro?
They can't really teach none of this. You've been through something.
That's true. That's true. Come on, where were we at?
We're in verse 5. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 5. Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished. By mercy and truth, iniquity is purged. And by the fear of the Lord, men depart from evil. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him.
Much deeper can you get with that?
Right.
The Most High can change your enemy heart.
Right.
He laying in the alley waiting to bust somebody's head, and you the next one walking by. And the Most High say, not him.
Right.
But just like the story of the brother I was telling you about, Azariah's little brother, who God was getting ready to kill him, had the gun out, and he came out with the Bible, and the dude said within the next 5 minutes, he was sitting down at the steps being taught the Bible by the guy he was getting ready to kill. And this was the testimony to me from the cat that was going to kill him. He said, man, I've been wanting to kill this dude for a while. Now I had the opportunity. He said, he went in the house. I'm thinking he's going in there to get his gun. He said, I'm already strapped. I'm waiting for him to come out so I can blow his head off. He said he come out with a big old Bible.
And blew his head off.
He said, man, that just baffled me. He said, man, I didn't know what to do at that point. He's like, what, he got a Bible? He said, man, I'm finna kill this dude. He brought out a book.
Dang.
He said, man, before I know it, I was sitting on the steps listening to him teach me the Bible.
Change that heart.
That's the power of the Most High. That's only right. Son. That's the power of the Holy Spirit.
Oh, praise.
What your gun gonna do with that?
Nothing. No weapon formed against you can prosper.
That's right. True. And I ain't saying don't have guns. Don't y'all twist my words.
Right.
Come on.
Even Peter kept his sword.
That's right.
Yeah. Luke 22:36. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Always keep a hammer in the script.
You better. You know where you at.
Right.
Already.
You ain't got no blind faith.
All right, we in verse 8. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right. A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps. A divine sentence is in the lips of the king. His mouth transgresseth not in judgment. A just weight and balance are the Lord's. All the weights of the bag are his work. It is an abomination to kings to commit wickedness, for the throne is established by righteousness.
So when the Most High set up these kingdoms, he sets them up according to righteousness, but they become rogue. He don't set them up to be rogue.
They just become that.
They become that. Harden their hearts.
Knowledge
But you
puffeth up.
see what King Darius and King Cyrus did. They became righteous and they were believers in the Most High. Even King Nebuchadnezzar turned his heart over.
That's right. Pharaoh did.
Pharaoh hardened his heart.
So after that, remember he turned after the.
Yeah, but he still hardened his heart to the point where he had to give it up.
Yeah.
You know, he was flip-flopping, but that was to show, that was to be an example of the Most High's power and might. So when, like in Romans 13, when he said he sets up kingdoms not to be a terror unto us, but when they do righteous works and righteous judgments, then they are then held in peace, like Cyrus and Darius. However, we had also wicked kings. We had wicked kings of Israel and Judah.
But we're going to read later on too how it's different times where you'll have a king that's doing righteously by you. And then you're going to have a king that's doing wicked. These are times we go through. Like we was put in this land, this is our punishment to be here. You think this just going to be peachy king all the time? It ain't going to happen.
Not at all.
Good.
He said, move to the north.
Left, right.
Oh yeah, it's covering your face. No, go that way, towards the center. Yeah. That's about right there. Yeah. Now it won't cover your face.
Yeah, good. All right, what we at 15?
Oh, that's Aria.
If
Yeah.
he was in class, he could have moved.
Yeah, no doubt, Aria. What you say, you don't gas,
You
Aria?
brought attention to yourself.
Long Appreciate it, brother.
Come on.
And we in verse 13. Righteousness lips are the delight of kings, and they love him that speaketh right. The wrath of a king is a messenger of death, but a wise man will pacify it. In the light of the king's countenance is light, and his favor is as a cloud of the latter rain. How much better is it to get wisdom than gold?
Say that again.
How much better is it to get wisdom than gold? And to get understanding rather to be chosen than silver.
See, them the real treasures right there.
Yes, sir.
They can get you everlasting life.
Wisdom and understanding.
That gold gonna outlast you.
You see, that's what Solomon prayed for, wisdom. And everything that came with it was attached to it. All the riches, all the glory came along with it. But he wanted wisdom and understanding of the Most High's work, and he gave him everything that came with wisdom.
Verse 17. The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keepeth his way preserveth his soul.
Yes.
Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. Better it is to be of an humble spirit with the lowly, than to divide the spoil with the proud. He that handleth a matter wisely shall find good, and whoso trusteth in the Lord, happy is he.
That's true happiness.
The wise in heart shall be called prudent, and the sweetness of the lips increaseth learning. Understanding is a wellspring of life unto him that hath it, but the instruction of fools is folly. The heart of the wise teacheth his mouth, and addeth learning to his lips. Pleasant words are as an honeycomb, sweet to the soul, and health to the bones.
Yes, it is.
There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death.
His own understanding was starting to seem right, but not death on the table.
Right.
He that laboreth for himself, for his mouth craveth it of him. An ungodly man diggeth up evil.
What?
An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is as a burning fire. A froward man soweth strife, and a whisperer separateth chief friends. A violent man enticeth his neighbor, and leadeth him into the way that is not good.
Yeah.
He shutteth his eyes to devise froward things. Moving his lips, he bringeth evil to pass. The hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness.
Just because a man is old don't mean he's a righteous old man. That's right. He might just be an old fool.
Old fool. Old fool. Man, we know plenty of them out there.
Hey, hold that, brother, and get that Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4. 4 and 8.
I hope y'all got y'all apocrypha. I'm not finna pull it up. By the time I pull it up, it'll be done being read.
Chapter what?
4. Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha, chapter 4, verse 8. And
For honorable age.
yeah.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 8. For honorable age is not that which standeth in length of time, nor that is measured by numbers of years. But wisdom is the gray hair unto men, and an unspotted life is old age. He pleased God, and was beloved of him, so that living among sinners he was translated. Yea, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding, or deceit beguile his soul. For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest, and the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind.
That means a lustful mind. Running to and fro, devouring silly women, laden with lust. They take away the heart of an honest man.
Yes, sir.
Read on.
Verse 13, he, being made perfect in a short time, fulfilled a long time, For his soul pleased the Lord. Therefore hasted he to take him away from among the wicked. This the people saw and understood it not, neither laid they up this in their minds, that his grace and mercy is with his saints, and that he have respect unto his chosen. Thus the righteous that is dead shall condemn the ungodly which are living, and youth that is soon perfected the many years and old age of the unrighteous. Okay.
So it doesn't mean that just because you are old, you have knowledge and wisdom and understanding.
Right. Be old and unrighteous.
There are young men who have more knowledge than an old man, who are considered more knowledgeable or wise than an old man. Just like you said, there are some young men who have fulfilled the length of time of an old man through his wisdom and understanding. So just because you see white hairs on a man don't necessarily mean he's wise.
That's right.
You know, you see, we always say, oh man, he got all wisdom on his face. Not necessarily so.
He just old.
That might just be some old ass dirt on his face.
He just old, man.
Too bad.
Job 32 and verse 9.
Come on.
Great men are not always wise,
Right.
neither do the aged understand judgment.
Right.
That's deep right there.
Oh, that is.
There's a saying, it's not the years in your life, but the life in your years.
That's right.
You can be old and unrighteous.
Right.
Like our little nephew that was sitting up here reading like an old man with understanding. Baby boy could read better than some old heads. Read these scripts and had understanding.
That's right.
There's some old heads walking around that's in their 60s and 70s that haven't a clue. Just took up space for 70 years.
That's the worst place to be in, boy. You just a space taker?
Right.
Huh? He ain't found no use for you at all. You just been taking up space.
Don't get it twisted. We quick to call everybody elder that's above our age. Ain't necessarily so. Read on, bro. We can get back to that property.
In Proverbs
16, what is it?
16:32.
32.
Yep. Verse 32.
If y'all don't know, each one of these scriptures in Proverbs we could talk about for 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, you're right.
All day.
Huh?
Yeah,
But we're going to read a lot of them. That's why I'm trying not to do that so much. Come on.
Verse 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. The lot is cast into the lap, but the whole disposing thereof is of the Lord.
All right, now we're going to go into 17. Now, that said that he that despises ruling your spirit is better than taking a whole city.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
That's a king right there.
We should be getting it together, ain't we?
Yes, sir.
Because that's where the real trueness is.
That's right.
Rule that spirit within you.
Yeah.
It don't matter how much land and all this you got. That don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
That's right. Because wherever you go, sin gonna be there.
You know they say that a fool and his money shall soon depart.
Go live at the bottom of the
A bunch of
ocean.
witches
Sin gonna be
riches
there.
without understanding, it don't mean nothing.
Don't mean nothing. Come on.
How many people have you heard of won the lottery and they broke in a matter of years?
A whole lot of them.
Matter of fact, suffering more than they were before they won the lottery. Proverbs chapter 17 and 1. Better is a dry morsel and quietness therewith than an house full of sacrifices with strife. A wise servant shall have rule over a son that causes shame, and shall have part of the inheritance among the brethren. The fining pot is for silver, and the furnace for gold, but the Most High tried the hearts.
You do what?
Tried the hearts.
Yeah, you ain't gonna get around that one.
A wicked doer giveth heed to false lips, and a liar giveth ear to a naughty tongue. Whoso mocketh the poor reproacheth his maker, and he that is glad at calamity shall not be unpunished. So be careful how you talk bad about the poor. The poor will always be amongst us. Always.
And we're going to read throughout this day, he always looking out for the poor and the widow. Huh?
But you also have to understand that the poor also labor.
Poor don't mean you just sit on your
You
butt.
sitting on your butt not doing nothing. Poor means one who labors and just can't make it to that, just don't ever make enough to suffice it. Or suffice his household, sustain his household. But yet he's constantly working and trying to better his household or his condition. He don't sit on his ass and do nothing and be slothful. That's not a beggar. A beggar and a poor man are two totally different things.
Because you have up and downs in life. Right now, he just at a down point. It's going to rise back for him.
What was that Sirach 40 about the beggar?
Yes.
Hit that real quick, brother, so we can see what's the difference of the beggar, and then I'm gonna get this about the poor. The poor, we're gonna Sirach chapter 31, we'll see that the poor, Sirach chapter 31 verse 4, hit that first, and then we hit that 40, we see the difference between the beggar and the poor.
Yeah, that's Sirach 40, verse 26 to
Yeah, 26 through 30.
26 to 30.
Sirach 40, 26 through 30 for the beggar, and Sirach chapter 31, verse 4 for the poor. Let's get it. We're going to do Sirach chapter 31, verse 4 for the poor first.
The book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, in the Apocrypha, chapter 31 and verse 4. The poor laboreth in his poor estate.
You know what, brother, start at 1. And let's go down to 7.
The book of Sirach, chapter 31 and verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Watching for riches consumeth the flesh, and the care thereof driveth away sleep.
So they're paper chasing.
Right.
Well, you heard from those that say, man, I got to get that paper, I'm paper chasing.
Yeah.
The early bird catches the worm, right? They up first thing in the morning, paper chasing.
Couldn't sleep that
Can't
night?
sleep. Nigga, I don't sleep. I'm getting that money.
I need the bag.
Gotta get the bag. Gotta
I'm
get
looking for the bag.
Hear the bag,
They don't sleep. Always concerned about that paper. Read on.
Verse 2.
Yep.
Watching care will not let a man slumber, as a sore disease breaketh sleep. The rich hath great laboring in gathering riches together, and when he resteth, he is filled with his delicacies. The poor laboreth in his poor estate, and when he leaveth off, he is still needy.
So he's saying the poor is always laboring. He working, and when he leave it off, he still needs more because it's not sustaining him. Look at those who work in these 9-to-5 jobs and they working under minimum wage. Working 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs.
Right.
Still don't have enough. Trying to make ends meet. Shit, I'm just trying to get mine to acknowledge each other. Don't stop fall apart mine, though.
Verse
But I
5.
still gotta work. I got mouths to feed, I got bills to pay. All that.
You say we acknowledge
Mine don't even see each other. They texting each other. You still around? Read on, brother.
Verse 5. He that loveth gold shall not be justified, and he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof. Gold hath been the ruin of many.
What?
Gold hath been the ruin of many, and their destruction was present.
So you'll find that most of these people that's paper chasing, that's all they have. Mammon has become their God, and destruction is always at the door.
Always.
What was that song? More money, more problems. It's always, especially when you are not living according to righteousness, it's always somebody waiting in the cut trying to take what you got. So now you got to look over your back everywhere you go.
That's it.
Read on.
Verse 7.
Yep.
It is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it, and every fool shall be taken therewith.
Every fool is taking their with. All that paper chasing, and guess what? When you die, you ain't taking it with you.
That's right.
You leaving all that labor you did for paper chasing for somebody else to come and take yours. Especially these cats in the dope game. It's always their homie waiting for him to die or gonna kill him. Take what he got, and his woman, and his house, everything he left behind, and guess what? The next Negro is waiting on him. And it's just a cycle, an evil cycle.
No honor amongst thieves.
No honor amongst thieves. Let's hit that Ecclesiastes 40.
That's Sirach 40.
Sirach 40.
Yeah, back it up to 22.
Sirach 40?
Sirach 40, 22 through 30. You got that, bro?
Yeah, I got you.
Pull it out.
Huh?
Pull it out.
Yep.
We starting at Sirach chapter 40, starting at verse 22. Thine eye desire favor and beauty, but more than both corn while it is green. A friend and companion never meet amiss, but above both is a wife with her husband. Whoa. Brethren and help are against time of trouble, but arms shall deliver more than them both. Gold and silver make the foot stand sure, but counsel is esteemed above them both.
So he's saying gold and silver make the foot stand sure, meaning that money is a defense.
Yeah.
It helps you pay your bills, helps you get some of the things you need, your necessities, and some of your wants. However, it becomes a problem when it becomes your God.
That's right. That's right.
He says, the love of mammon, the love of money is the root of all evil, not money is the root of all evil. And see, that's where we get it twisted. Right. A lot of people say money is the root of all evil. It's not the money that's the root of all evil. It's the love of it that's the root of all evil, because you will do anything to get it. Mm-hmm. You will cross whomever to get it.
You made it your God.
Verse 26. Riches and strength lift up the heart, but the fear of the Lord is above them both.
That's right. Yes.
There is no want in the fear of the Lord, and it needeth not to seek help.
Most High don't need your help. Right. Truth needs no support. It's absolute. It don't need you to do nothing. Right. Most High don't need your 10% tithes up there to buy nothing.
That's right.
Everything down here is his, right, including you.
That's right. Verse 27. The fear of the Lord is a fruitful garden, and covereth him above all glory. My son, lead not a beggar's life.
What life?
A beggar's life. For better it is to die than to beg.
Whoa. 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 He says it's better to die than to beg. Read on.
The life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not to be counted for a life.
Whoa! You slothful hobo Negro. Your life ain't counted as a life. You sitting waiting on another man's table? Get your butt up and work.
That's what we eating today, dog.
Don't you get paid tomorrow, bro?
What you got on my 40, homie?
It's the same thing.
Same thing.
Deboing you in a nice way.
Come on.
Verse 29 again. The life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not to be counted for a life. For he polluted himself with other men's meat. But a wise man well nurtured will beware thereof. Begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless.
Shameless.
But in his belly there shall burn a fire.
See the difference? The poor man labor and have not enough. A beggar sits and wait on another man's labor to bring him meat. Negro, you out of control.
Shameless.
And he's shameless. A whore's forehead, no shame. And he think it's cool. It's okay. Man, can I lounge at your crib for the night? And next thing you know, that nigga been there for 3 months. Eating up your children's food. And ain't contributing a doggone thing to the household. That's a beggar.
Hey, dog, is your wife cooking tonight?
I've seen Negroes on Facebook. I'm hungry. Who cooking? I'ma come over and get a nigga. You out of control. And then you put it out there for the world to see. And then you say you Hebrew. You a lover of the Most High. You a follower of Christ. And you gonna put that out there in the world? And it's okay. Shameless. A whore's forehead. No shame. You had something, Mom?
When we were coming up, they were called sponges.
Yeah.
Sponges.
Just what we used to say. Niggas just leeching or sponging off everybody.
So you said you go to your house.
Moochers?
It say alms to
Meaning
the poor in need, not the leeches and mooches.
Big and big.
You take anything we got. You don't care what.
She will laugh.
Yeah. Wow. All right, y'all. But you see, rarely there's a difference between the poor and a beggar. The poor still works.
That's right.
He just doesn't make enough to sustain him or the things that he needs, or maybe his wants. He may have enough for his necessities, he just don't have that extra for those wants that everybody else may have. However, he still has a peaceful sleep.
Right.
His sleep is still peaceful because he labored, he pays his bill, he pays his own way.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
He's a man.
He's not being consumed by those other things.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
They'll consume your mind, and now you going off.
Right. Get more sleep.
We still in Proverbs 17, wasn't we?
Yep. Yes, sir. Where did I stop at? 4. Okay. A wicked doer, Proverbs 17 and 4. A wicked doer giveth heed to false lips, and a liar giveth ear to a naughty tongue. Whoso mocketh the poor reproacheth his maker, and he that is glad at calamity shall not be unpunished. Children's children are the crown of old men. Grandchildren.
Them grandbabies.
Yes.
Now y'all know why I feel like that, don't you? Those of us who have them.
I'm just trying to get.
I got another one on the way in another 2 months. Yeah. It's way better than when you had kids.
They say the mother sins and worn off. We start afresh with the grandbabies. Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children are their fathers. Excellent speech becometh not a fool, much less do lying lips a prince. A gift is as a precious stone in the eyes of him that hath it. Whithersoever it turneth, it prospereth. He that covereth a transgression seeketh love, but he that repeateth a matter separateth very friends. So when you repent, you're not to do it again.
Right.
But to continue repeating the same sin and transgression, you start to separate your friends, because if you continue to do the same offense to your your brother, he don't want to be around you.
Now he telling everybody else not to be around.
And you keep going, oh man, my bad. Nigga, you just did it 5 times for me.
Remember,
You can't forgive if there's no repentance, there's no forgiveness. And the repentance has to be authentic from the heart. Because if it is, he ain't gonna do it again. Now he might do another transgression, but if he's repeating the same transgression that he asked you to forgive him for, no, dog.
but that don't mean he can go down the line marking off different transgressions he can do to you.
He got a list, okay. I got that one off. Let me try this one. No, he better get rid of it.
That's when, if at all possible, live peaceably with men kick in.
Right. If possible.
If possible. I don't think that was possible now.
Right.
Verse 10. A reproof entereth more into a wise man than 100 stripes into a fool. There it is. 11. An evil man seeketh only rebellion. Therefore a cruel messenger shall be sent against him. Let a bear robbed of her whelps meet a man, rather than a fool in his father. Whoso rewardeth evil for good, evil shall not depart from his house.
That's deep.
Oh yeah, you got it coming back to you.
Right.
Verse 14. The beginning of strife is as when one letteth out water. Therefore leave off contention before it be meddled with. He that justifieth the wicked, and he that condemneth the just, even they both are an abomination to the Most High.
Better get that together.
There's a lot of abomination going on in this society.
Better get that
You
together.
see all these people going free, all these heathens going free of their wicked crimes. Not just 5-0 against us, but look at all these wicked heathens that's molesting and raping women and everything, and then the judge is not giving them these real life. I don't want his life to be thrown out of discourse because he comes from a good background, so we're gonna let him go free. Only to turn and loose this monster on society to continue his wickedness throughout the course of his life.
Right.
Because all he's gonna do is just turn it up. Turn up the knob. And he's gonna perfect his wickedness. They just building serial killers and serial rapists and all that.
It's like that one that they just got that did that little girl in St. Anne 20-some years ago.
Yeah.
He done been in jail 4 or 5 times since then. Yeah. And they just found out about that one. All for the same offenses, messing with little girls.
Or the little white boy that killed the 4 people at the bus stop, ran them over, he was drunk. He didn't do a day in jail.
Nah, the team.
Yeah.
What they call them when they too rich to
And he was too rich, they like, oh, when he come from a rich background,
He
we don't
wouldn't
want
be
to
able to take
make
it.
Yeah, somebody got.
They murdered 4 innocent people and got off. And these weren't black folks he murdered white folk. And got off. But then him and his mama skip town, skip country, go to Mexico, they down there getting drunk. Expedited his little butt back to the U.S.
So did he go to jail?
Man, they probably got a slap on the wrist. Because we don't hear nothing
Yeah,
about it.
they done went hush.
They expunge their records and they sweep it under the rug. But guess what? They ain't escaped judgment. They didn't escape judgment. They escaped this wicked judge here on this earth. But the righteous judge died.
The wicked shall not go unpunished.
Dude, Robert Pulaski,
Yeah.
the rep,
Yeah. Ain't heard nothing about him.
he over in Paris.
Chilling.
He over charges of some kind of rape, some kind of sexual stuff. Yeah, he over charges. He's been over there for over 20
Since
years.
he's been caught. Now Bill Cosby in jail.
Right.
This man is traveling and kicking. Chilling.
See, and that's the example I use when I try to explain to people what Paul is saying about being under the law. myself, Pulaski, one dude, for Warner Brothers, not Warner Brothers, the Weinstein, the person, Weinstein, Tom Weinstein, those, they are above the law. Bill Cosby is under the law.
Yeah, because he is real.
Right.
He's Israeli.
And that's evidence against him. They would just say so. And he's definitely under the law. They threw the whole book at 3 to 10 years, you know. But those other guys, they commit the crime, don't even get nothing.
Well, Bill Cosby wanted to buy NBC. That's where they pissed him off.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
He pissed him off with that shit. That was the only way they could stop him. Only way they could stop him was to tear him down.
Right.
What you got, Darryl?
What's the guy from man, just skip my mind. He was talking. Weinstein, he was the Playboy dude. Been in jail. They should dig him up and bury him now. It's all the children he had. On drugs and all kind of stuff. The dawn of time. Yeah, he should have been in jail when he was alive. So here's a question.
Go ahead, Elon.
So when it says that it would never leave their house, it'll never leave their house, this judgment laws will never leave their house. That means, how many generations does it go? Or is it indefinite?
Some of them say never, some of them say 4 or 5 generations. It depends on which particular one you're talking about. Some of them say never, which means all your generations.
Yeah.
Some of them give you a specific numbers of the generations that's going to be cursed.
Okay.
So it depends on which one.
So it depends on which sin.
Which sin it is and what's the punishment for it. Some of them go forever. Like ours is written with a pen of iron.
Proverbs 17 and verse 13, 14, 16.
Yep.
Proverbs 17 and verse 16. Wherefore is there a price in the hand of a fool to get wisdom, seeing he have no heart to it? Remember the cat trying to buy the gifts of the Most High?
Yeah.
And Peter told him, you're going to be buried with it, with that money.
Same way as the judges that are taking bribes.
Yeah, they're gonna die and be buried with that money. That dirty, filthy, blood money. You're gonna die with it.
And the senators and
Yeah, ain't nothing you can do with that money. Just like Moses said, don't bring the price of a whore or a dog into the temple.
Right. What that mean?
Don't bring dirty money. Don't bring your dope money into this house. Your ill-gotten gain into the house of the Lord.
So saints and sinners is wrong? Hey, don't trip me. I ain't never watched the episode, y'all. I just heard about what they be doing on there.
You ain't the one to gossip, so you Verse 17. A friend loveth at all times. You hear that? A true friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Endure and embrace adversity. Once you come into this knowledge of this walk, adversity coming at you. Calamity is coming at you. Strife is coming at you. Temptation is coming at you.
You got to be tested.
Gotta get tested. Gold is tried in the fire.
That's right. I was born for this.
Gotta be rammed tough. And he says, a friend loveth all times, not sometimes, not when it's only convenient for him. A friend gonna show his love and compassion for you at all times. Ain't gonna be no strife between the friends. True friendship and brethren. That's why the Most High says all the laws are hinged upon those two. Love the Most High God with all thy heart, body, and soul, and love thy neighbor as thyself. Because love will not allow any transgression of any of the other commands.
That's right.
It trumps all that.
It's true. Because if you love him, you're not going to do anything that's going to.
It won't even enter into your psyche.
Right. To the brother.
That won't even come into your psyche to devise anything evil against your brother.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, if you even hear an inkling of anything of the such, it's going to fire you up that you want to get mad and you want to take action against those who's trying to do something of the kind.
It should get to you as if it was done to you.
Right.
Verse 18. A man void of understanding striketh hands and becometh surety in the presence of his friends. Puffing up front. Oh yeah, man, I do this. You ain't gonna do nothing. Sit your fucking ass.
Tell us how you really feel.
Verse 19. He loveth transgression that loveth strife, and he that exalteth his gate seeketh destruction. He that hath a froward heart findeth no good. That means someone is always speaking against the law, statutes, and judgments. His whole heart is against righteousness. He's only focused on doing something foul and wicked. And he that hath a perverse tongue falleth into mischief. He that begetteth a fool doeth it to his sorrow. And the father of a fool hath no joy. I mean, you just look at anyone that has a foul son, and they wait, boy, you know what your son out there doing? You see it in movies, especially with the rich, them spoiled brat children, offspring. Then they turn around and kill their daddies and mamas for inheritance. Because they told them they couldn't go out for the night.
Right.
So they put a shotgun to their head while they're in the bed. Like the Menendez boys.
Yeah. Magic Johnson's son doing that.
Oh.
Got a real shot.
Without,
That's disgusting.
What do you do?
Magic Johnson.
Flaming. He flaming. That's what he's doing. He hot as that thing.
And he a big dude.
but I mean, his daddy was running around kissing a man on national TV every game.
It's a lot of that in out there. It's a lot.
Him and Isaiah Thomas. Every time before the game, they kiss each other, or after the game, kiss each other on the lips.
No.
Oh, go back and watch it.
Yes, they did.
Was it a holy greet? Because we tell us to greet our brothers.
No, ain't no holy kiss like that, dog.
Holy kiss.
Holy different.
That ain't my concern. Right. I just don't see two men locking lips. That's all. Hey, that's enough.
That's good.
I don't kiss my son on the lips.
Right.
I mean, it was square on the lips.
Now, when he was a baby, I guess, but as he grow up, I ain't kissing my son on no lips.
Trade on.
I don't believe it.
I don't even allow my sons to put their hands on their sides or hips or smack you. Well. Exactly.
What you got, Daryl?
I have a zero tolerance for that foolishness.
What's the other guy? The other basketball player. His little boy.
Talking about Dwayne Wade. Yeah, they turned him into a girl.
His wife doing that too. She making him do that.
Well, you see every conversations they
And they
use stuff anyway.
Hell, he don't dress manly.
I'm here, right? No, I ain't seen him in skirts.
Somebody had a boy that made him think his hands painted.
Oh, that was I just seen
She didn't want to do it. She made him.
The child had more sense than I.
Yeah, the child, he didn't want to do it.
Sad, man.
Forcing it on. I mean,
I don't like it.
22.
I don't like yours.
22.
It's a light.
Proverbs 17 and 22. A merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones. A wicked man taketh a gift out of the bosom to pervert the ways of judgment. Bribes. Wisdom is before him that hath understanding, but the eyes of a fool are in the ends of the earth. A foolish son is a grief to his father, and bitterness to her that bare him. Also to punish the just is not good, nor to strike princes for equity. He that hath knowledge spareth his words. Means think about what you're saying before you say it. And you be found a fool. Say it's better to be thought of as a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt.
Yep, that's him. That's him.
Seven.
27. He that hath knowledge spareth his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise. And he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding.
So you shouldn't be running your mouth all the time, huh? Right. Huh? You won't offend nobody if you ain't saying nothing. Right. Matthew chapter 12. Matthew chapter 12. Still on me?
Yep.
just like it too.
Matthew chapter 12, 25 through 37. In Luke chapter 6, verse 45. Then Jeremiah 17, 9 through 10. These are the only ones that ain't whole chapters. All the rest of them whole chapters.
Get it.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts.
You ready, bro?
Yeah.
And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And if I by Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your children cast them out? Therefore they shall be your judges. But if I cast out devils by the Spirit of Yahweh, then the kingdom of Yahweh is come unto you. Or else how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. Can't go in some man's house, running his house, talking about what he should do and what he shouldn't do. Who are you to go up in someone's house and run his household? Right. And you ain't bound the king? Verse 30. He that is not with me is against me, and he that gathereth not with me scattereth abroad. Wherefore I say unto you, all manner of sin and blasphemy shall be forgiven unto men, but the blasphemy against the Holy Ghost shall not be forgiven unto men. And whosoever speaketh the word against the Son of Man, it shall be forgiven him. But whosoever speaketh against the Holy Ghost, it shall not be forgiven him, neither in this world, neither in the world to come. Either make the tree good and his fruit good, or else make the tree corrupt and his fruit corrupt. For the tree is known by his fruit. O generation of vipers, how can ye, being evil, speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaketh. That's why he says, it's not what goes into a man that defiles him, but what comes out of the man defiles him.
That's right.
Verse 35. A good man out of the good treasure of the heart bringeth forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasure bringeth forth evil things. But I say unto you, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned.
That's right. That's hit Luke 6:45. The second witness to that 35.
Be careful what you say. All that GD mean? Okay, you really want that? Oh, they let it roll too. Really want it?
Right off their tongue.
Already living in damnation and you want more?
You want to be totally damned. Right. The ultimate damned.
There's a waiting. It's already prepared too.
Luke chapter 6:45. It's the second witness to that 35, 34 and 35.
Was this a one-hitter?
Yeah. And then
Jeremiah.
Yeah, then Jeremiah 17 and 9 and 10. Also talking about the heart. Who got that one? 6 and 45.
All right. The book of Luke, chapter 6 and verse 45. A good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good. An evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is evil. For of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaketh.
So whatever's in your heart gonna come out your mouth. Huh? Let's hit that Jeremiah 17, 9 and 10. Whatever come out your mouth, what's in your heart is gonna come out your mouth. It's gonna manifest itself. As a man thinketh, so he does it. So if you thinking wicked, something wicked gonna happen. You don't think nothing wicked and then go do a righteous act.
All right. Boy, you ain't kidding.
Jeremiah 17, 9 and 10.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, the Most High, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doing.
So if you got a wicked heart and you always thinking wickedness, that's what you're gonna get rewarded by. Or you could be thinking righteousness, and then that's what you will get rewarded by. James chapter 3. James chapter 3. Just had to throw that in there for those heart specialists. God knows my heart. He most certainly does.
Yes, he does.
And he shall reward you openly. You know if you wicked or you being righteous. Right. You can't fool him. He the second witness on you. And you your own first witness. Huh? You gonna tell on yourself without choice. Think of the time somebody that asked you if you did something and you said, no, it wasn't me. Now imagine you ain't gonna be able to say that. Yes, it was me. You looking around like, where did that come from?
And it's on camera.
I got you.
Is that you?
Yes, it is I. Why I can't shut up? You hold your mouth. Come on, James chapter 3.
Reading in the book of James, in the 3rd chapter. We'll start our reading here in verse 1. Doing the whole chapter, right?
Yeah.
Let's get some understanding, family.
Yes, sir.
James chapter 3 and 1. My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation. For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man, and able also to bridle the whole body. Behold, we put bits in the horses' mouths, that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. Behold also the ships, which though they be so great, and are driven of fierce winds, yet are they turned about with a very small helm, whithersoever the governor listeth. Even so the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindles. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members. Let it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell.
So your tongue can set your whole body on fire. You sure you want to run your mouth?
You know, they have that saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt. Bull crap.
Right. Yeah.
Words can condemn you.
Words that send your body to everlasting damnation. Your soul to everlasting damnation.
It's true. That's more powerful than a punch. You can get mad at your brother, and y'all get into you punch each other. Y'all might have a little fight. But if you say some hurtful stuff to him, stick with him for
life.
Yeah. I get over that little fight. You know, men fight. You know, just like kids. And they're friends. The next day they'll get a grill or something. They'll get some chicken. You know.
Well, see, you hungry?
He always wants some chicken. That's the Yardbird man right there.
But see, that's just the thing about it, bro, is regardless to what go down, it's like I always tell people, a drunk mind speaks sober thoughts. You let things come off your lips that you wouldn't normally tell somebody. But out of the mouth comes the abundance of the heart. So what you really feel, and once you get mad enough at somebody, you say it, then you be like, damn, I never should have said that. But then from that point on, that other person looking at you a little bit different. You know, so yeah, very powerful, that tongue.
But when that thought entered your mind and manifested itself, you didn't rebuke it.
Right.
You didn't squash it.
Yeah.
You let it go.
And it just festered.
So now it festered and built up, and now all of a sudden, nigga, you ain't shit.
I didn't mean it, Daddy. Well, how long you been thinking that? You didn't give me that big wheel.
Well, you've been holding on to that too long.
They came out with too much force. Nah, you've been sitting on that one, boy.
But that's why we can't let things just manifest and fester like that. That's why you're supposed to squash your problems.
Don't let the sun go down.
Don't let the sun go down on you. Because it's going to be the devil's playground after that.
Yeah.
Because he in your mind while you sleep, thinking about that happened earlier while you was awake. Now you plotting murder in your mind in your sleep. Huh? When all you had to do was squash it before you went to sleep.
All you had to do is go to your brother. It's crazy how we call ourselves men, but we find it hard to even approach unto another man and talk to him our issues.
Right.
Why should I fear another man?
Real men don't.
You breathe and bleed like me. Why should I fear you?
That's right.
I don't fear you.
And men, you know what? That's when I was young. You know, back in the day, way a long time ago, long time ago, long time ago.
Negro, you ain't that old.
You still got baby hair. What you talking about?
Long time ago. I was working at the store, and I think it was Home Depot, and it was this older, he was older than me. I think I was a teenager. He was a grown man. And I don't know what happened, but something got said. I don't know if I said something, or a rumor got started. I might have spread it or something.
Hey, this is a partial confession.
Right. I know it was something I did.
Yeah, let's play dumb all the way through this.
They pulled me over to the side, and he just talked to me like a grown man. I remember that. You know, grown men do that. And I've done it before. He pulled me to the side. He made no big fuss about it. He told me, man, look, keep my name out your mouth. You know, I appreciate you doing that. You know, it was a real grown man conversation. You know what I'm saying? And grown men, a lot of men don't do that no more.
He didn't come at you with strife.
No, he didn't come at me with strife. He just let me know, hey, I appreciate that, you know, how it affected him, you know what I'm saying? Right, and that was cool, and I took it like that, you know, so from that point on, that's how I approached it, especially with grown men. And grown men appreciate this, instead of all that cat calling and backbiting and stuff.
Yeah, you going to tell somebody else.
Right, ain't no need for all that.
Well, society nowadays makes it easier to sin and offend against one another.
Yeah.
Because it's not a direct hit. Like,
Social media.
Sneak dissing.
You know, it's so easy to steal somebody's money now. You don't have to physically be near them to steal it.
Right.
You don't even have to be, you know, it used to be they were grinding through the trash or the mail. You got to do that. They can get
Everything is like,
sitting in their living room drinking coffee.
everything is easily accessible now.
You go on Facebook and tell all somebody else's business.
People are dying because of Facebook.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they are dying. I mean, that's the devil's playground. You know, but thus the minds of those who are not seeking righteous judgment and understanding that you put all your information out there.
Man, why don't people do this?
And then you invite the world into your issue. And then you want to get an attitude when somebody's commenting on your issue.
Yeah, they judging you about what you done posted. Now you mad at them.
How you gonna jump on my post and how you gonna put that shit out there? Come on, man. Let's be real. Come on, okay, just be real. Come on, just be real. I mean, come on now.
And then Sneak do it. I ain't gonna say no names, but he did this and this and that and knew that. Now you done just put all that out there. Everybody know who did it.
Yeah, everybody talking about it.
You drive that white truck.
What did I do?
Yeah. Got sister named
Now somebody that you wasn't talking about, is he talking about me?
Yeah.
I know he ain't talking about me because I did that too. But I ain't do it to him. How he know? It's just a big mess.
That's what it is.
That's why we need to get that together.
Get it together.
What's on your mind?
Right.
The book of James.
Don't fall for that. When they say what's on y'all mind, tell it nothing.
Right. Don't tell it nothing.
I'm telling them the most high. That's all the begotten Son, law, statutes, and judgment. That's what's on my mind.
Yep.
Now what's on yours?
The book of James, chapter 3 and verse 7. For every kind of beast and of birds and of serpents and of things in the sea is tamed and have been tamed of mankind.
Adam did that.
But the tongue can no man tame.
Couldn't do that.
It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. Therewith bless we Yah, even the Father, and therewith curse we men, which are made after the similitude of Yah. Out of the same mouth proceedeth blessings and cursing.
Bless you, brother. I can't stand that nigga.
Hate that nigga. My brethren, these things ought not so to be. Doth a fountain send forth at the same place sweet water and bitter? Can the fig tree, my brother, bear olive berries, either a vine figs?
So can no fountain both yield salt water and fresh.
Can we hold that real quick, brother, and hit that Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 4 through 6. Start at, you can do 1 through 5. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, 1 through 5. Or 1 through 6. Yeah. The meat of the matter was verse 4 and 5.
Right. We're in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, going through verse 1 through 6.
I made it. I made it before you even started reading.
Oh, that's what's up.
That's because it was already open.
Spirit working, brother.
Verse 1. Love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Think of the Lord with a good heart, and in simplicity of the heart seek him. For he will be found of them that tempt him not, and showeth himself unto such as do not distrust him. For froward thoughts separate from God and his power. When it is tried, reproveth the unwise. For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin. For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit, and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in.
So good don't even want to be nowhere around bad.
That's right.
We ought to be the same. Go ahead.
For wisdom is a loving spirit.
So what kind of spirit?
A loving spirit, and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. For God is witness of his reins, and a true beholder of his heart, and a hearer of his tongue.
Yeah, back in that James.
Back in that James, back some more on that tongue.
James 3 and 13. Who was a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness and wisdom. But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not, and lie not against the truth. This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, and devilish. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated.
So for what we just read, if envying and strife is around and there is no wisdom there, and you see two brothers arguing and fighting, is one of them of the Most High?
No.
That's what we just read. It can't be. Neither one of them are of the Most High. Somebody used to always tell me back in the day, when you walk up on two people clowning, who can you tell which one is the fool? But they both spitting and mouth stuff coming out their mouth. They throwing out into windows, ready to go to blows. How do you know who was right and who was wrong? Somebody didn't be the bigger person in that matter. They both let that sin take hold, and now they both out there clowning.
Right. Because it becomes a pissing match. Who's right?
And I say these things because I used to do it.
Right.
I used to do it. That's why I talk about it. A nigga ain't gonna talk to me like that.
Right.
No, you can go and talk to me like that. All right. See you. Take care. Now I'm gonna stay away from you. Come on.
Verse 17 again. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace.
That's what you get when the wisdom comes from above. It's hit Ephesians 4, then Ephesians 6. Well, we getting some understanding about getting that together. Because we all got stuff to work on.
Oh, plenty.
We all got stuff to work on, y'all. This ain't one-sided at all. I mean, if it's just me, let me know.
No, it ain't you, brother.
Okay.
I mean, we didn't become this filthy overnight. So
That's right. There's a whole lot of work got to go into it.
This is years of built up filth. And we trying to knock off.
Screw with a Brillo pad.
Brillo pad. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, man.
Power wash that cell.
Yeah, boy.
I wish it was that easy.
You have to power wash your skin off.
Because that's where it comes from, the flesh.
Yep. Skin is sin.
Seen that woman that took off the metal off her skin?
Oh, yeah.
What'd you say, Mom?
Just thinking about that.
So there was a woman that took, she said she didn't want the melanin on her skin.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Had it peeled all over her skin.
That's crazy.
That's hatred, boy. That's self-hatred.
Sell it for what it's worth, because women work more than those. You see?
Right, yeah. Don't have a clue, but she been listening to them outside.
She probably ain't even said it.
And how's that even?
Just peeled it off.
I don't know. I mean, it'll grow back, but owl might be scarred and all kind of messed up, man, depending on how far she went with it. Yeah, right. That's a wicked thought, man.
I think this lady was in Africa, right? So here's the deal. You ain't Africa, you know the sun is more intense.
Right.
So it's gonna be interesting when she walk out to the sun, within her skin, because she don't have protection of the melanin. She's gonna really regret that.
Probably already regretted it.
Especially that reason, I mean,
That burning, now that's eternal burning.
She's probably being scorned to death.
Right.
And self-hatred is a serious drug, boy.
Right, serious.
All right, who got it? Ephesians 4.
Ephesians 4. All right. Yeah, one starting one.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's only 17.
It's all good.
Just 17.
No, we're going to one. No.
We started at what? Verse 1.
See what I said about too many words to get you in trouble?
We're in the book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 1. Therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye are called, with all lowliness and meekness and long-suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all, and through all, and in you all. But up to every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of Christ. Wherefore he said, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men. Now that he ascended, what is it but that he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth? He that descended is the same also that ascended up far above all heavens, that he might fill all things. And he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers.
Different gifts in this. There's different gifts in this walk.
Different offices.
Not everything that I'm doing, he's supposed to do. Not everything he's doing, I'm supposed to do. It's different gifts in this. We supposed to fulfill the needs so we can be a whole body. And it take different parts. Whether you the pinky toe or the big finger, it don't make no difference. You still got to function. Yeah, I know big finger ain't a word. like I said earlier, when you don't talk so much, you don't offend. Come on. We got to show the living proof of the whole thing, don't we? That's right. Come on.
For the perfecting of the saints, for the work of ministry, for the edifying of the body of Christ, till we all come in the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ, that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men, and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive.
I know it's hard to believe, but it's a lot of that in Israel.
That's where it's mostly at. Because you already watching the doctrines of those that are not of Israel.
Right.
You already stopping that at the door.
Right.
But you welcome it just because you heard shalom, brother, akoti, iman, and all these Hebrew words, that you accept those in thinking that they're separated themselves from the world. Necessarily so. That's why the scriptures say, try the spirit of every man. He didn't say that in vain. He said because they, especially of the circumcision, are the ones that deceive.
That's right.
Why are we here? It wasn't heathens that was telling us foulness about our laws in our land. It was Israel. It was the Levitical priests. It was the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the political realm of Israel that did this. Most High says his name is blasphemed through the heathen, through us. Not through them. They weren't given the laws. It was given unto us to teach them. Now it's out of order.
And we still doing the same thing, just under different names.
But even worse, with no knowledge. Even worse. Because soon as we come into a little knowledge, we think we up there now. Right. We done puffed up with pride. Now we bigger than the next man. We've become Lord of our brethren, and we spill these wicked doctrines just so we can deceive and take down households for our own gain, personal gain. Nothing for the kingdom, because men don't have faith. They don't believe in that which they can't see with the naked eye, so they want their gifts now. Right. They want the reward now. So what they do is devise deceit so they can get their rewards now, because they don't believe in that which is to come. That's the bottom line.
Trying to make your own kingdom.
Trying to build God's kingdom in a land of captivity. How do you do that? Oh, we're going to build a compound. We're going to do communal living in captivity. It's like a nigga trying to build a compound in jail. Hey, homies, come on. We're going to get together and we're going to build our own little community in the penitentiary.
And a sea door.
See, we over here, while we over here amongst each other, we ain't locked up.
We free. He said that neither bond nor free. You understand what I'm saying?
But then you waiting for a grown man to say, nigga, lights out, give up, time to eat.
Right.
We'll meet back here in the yard in the morning.
Yesterday I had I ain't say a situation about a realization. I was in the barber shop and I don't know how we even got on the subject. I think somebody was talking about ancient Egypt. Of course, you know.
Your ears went up.
Oh, yeah. So, break it down.
Spider senses start tingling.
Right. I started breaking down, you know, our history, you know, this is going through, you know, the whole, what we know. And I was looking at them, and the whole barbershop was quiet. And it hit me that Israel has the power and influence. We have a gift of influence. We're the lowest everywhere we are in the world. But we have the most influence out of everybody. Things we do here, everybody do in the world. They emulate it everywhere across the world.
Everybody wants to be us without being us.
Right. And so if we can make anything look cool, we can make anything go viral. That's our gift. But we're supposed to be using it to lead people right. The people I was talking to in the barbershop, they were just soaking in what I was saying. Nobody want to look at the scriptures, even though I was giving to. I hope they looked at the scriptures I was
No,
giving.
they'd rather have the smooth words.
Right, they rather.
They brothers know what you're talking about. That sound good.
That's exactly.
Boy, you ought to be a preacher.
That's exactly what they said. I was like, but ain't nobody gonna look at. I guarantee you, nobody's gonna look at the scriptures that I gave you. To go look up to see.
He might be doing.
He might be right. You know.
If you had one, it was well worth it.
Yeah. Or even if it conforms somebody's heart, you're like, man, I ain't never heard such a doctrine. I need to look into that.
That's right. Yeah.
I need to follow that. And he goes home and starts, you know, and you may have set him on a court until you even seek righteousness. You know what I'm saying? You never know. But we have to plant the seed.
Plant the seed.
Continuously. Because you never know. The Most High provide the increase.
That's right.
We just got to keep dropping.
That's right.
We got to be tillers of the land.
Not holding the seeds up in the napkin. Oh, he gonna come back for this, so I'm gonna keep it right here. Huh? That's what that communal living is like. Who are you? You ain't been no light to no Gentiles. In a community full of Israelites.
Right. Come on, man.
Everybody know the law.
Remember the Pharisees, they accused them of sitting with the publicans and the sinners.
Right.
He said the well man need not a physician.
That's what I'm
Come to bring those who need me unto to repent.
Yeah.
Right.
Into the kingdom. You know? So he hung out with all those who needed him.
That's right.
The sick, the lame, all those people that needed him. The Pharisees was well-to-do. They didn't want him because they had the riches. Nigga, we don't need you. We sitting on fat. We got the kingdom. We run the political land. The laws are ours. We do what we want. We're above the law, dog. We don't need you. That's why they were always condemned. But how do you know the law and the law is written of him? Right. So it wasn't about him. It was about their own personal gain. That's why he said, I got to do away with this priesthood. Right. Because they into bribe, they into their own feeding their bellies. Mm-hmm. There has to be a priest that ain't about that. Right. You can't corrupt. He ain't taking no bribe, no guile, no deceit. Mm-hmm. It's only one. So therefore, Levi, go get a job. Your days are numbered now. Now the whole nation is a priesthood, a holy priesthood. 1 Peter chapter 2 and 5 through 9.
We don't drive. No.
All right, we in verse 15. But speaking the truth in love may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even Christ, from whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplieth, according to the effectual working in the measure of every part, maketh increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love. This I say therefore, and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of God through the ignorance that is in them, because of the blindness of their heart, who being past feeling have given themselves over unto lasciviousness, to work all uncleanness with greediness. But ye have not so learned Christ. If so be that ye have heard him, and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Jesus, that ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man.
You got to put off the old man. Now that you know this truth. Yeah.
Which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness. Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. Be ye angry, and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Neither give place to the devil. Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands the things which is good, that he may have to give to him that needeth. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers.
So he's saying, let no corrupt communication proceed out of thy mouth, but that which is good to. Sometimes you have to get low down and gritty with some of the ones that's coming from the gritty parts. That's all they know and understand.
That's not
to say
corrupt.
that you have to use a whole bunch of MFs and G's and all that. No. But sometimes you have to break it down to its lowest compound for those who are of that environment and atmosphere so that they understand.
Right.
Some of our brothers that's coming from, low education ain't gonna understand big, fancy words. So you might have to get low. You might have to get gutted with it. So to bring them up to that level of understanding. You understand? So you have to be able to get low and get high. You have to be able to be versatile in this walk. When you're dealing with hearers, those who will want to come into this walk, because you're going to get them from all walks of life. But if you only just understand to only one group of people, then you're missing out on those who need it.
That's right.
So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes we have to decrease until they increase.
Exactly, brother.
In actuality is we still be in scripture. We're not looking at ourselves.
No.
We just decrease so they can increase so they can get to understand.
So they get on that same level.
You putting it in layman's terms.
That's all.
So they can understand.
All the way down.
I was at my church I used to go to. The pastor one time told me that he wouldn't allow certain people like crackheads and stuff to come into the church because his ministry wasn't centered on that. And we got into it, which is one of the first things we got into. I was like, why are you going to turn away people when you're supposed to be the house of prayer? Both sides don't discriminate. You can help anybody, any interest. The word, the power. The word is the power. Right. Through him you can do anything, not your own ability. Even though you don't know nothing about it, you still can help that person. Ain't nothing, prayer is universal. Right. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of what kind, because I don't know street stuff, but I talk to street people.
Right.
Most times make it so they understand, but I don't try to over talk them. But anybody who comes, whosoever will, not certain, ain't no certain ministry. This person, I do a kids ministry, I do a old folk ministry, I do you know what I'm saying? No, everybody, they're all gonna come. It's because it's through him you can do all things. That's what
If you notice through the script, the language don't change for nobody.
That's right.
It's the same. That's right. In every book. Every script has the same language, the same linguistics, all that. It don't change.
Right.
But we have to get to the point where we know how to get to this point and that point with his words and understanding and in the walk. Because like I said, all of us don't come from the same background. All of us don't come from the same atmosphere, environment, and upbringing.
So sometimes we have to curtail our teaching to those so that they come on board, so they understand, interpret it in their language, so that they can come on into the fold. And it's not saying that you're changing the word of the Most High. Right. The translation don't change, no. It just makes it understandable in another man's language.
That's what I was trying to explain to him. He was like, Adam, I don't want them coming into my church. I'm like, how you gonna turn
Because he won, because they can't bring no money. That's why. They can't bring no money.
They may take from the church.
See, he worried they're gonna hold up the church and take the money out. They ain't bringing nothing in. That's what he's worried. He ain't in it to bring souls unto salvation.
He in there for the money.
To feed his belly.
He can't put nothing on this bill.
Yeah.
He can't come here.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't care how many plates he fixed. That ain't putting on this.
All right, we in verse 30. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of God, whereby you are sealed unto the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be ye kind one to another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, have forgiven you.
So you've been forgave, but you ain't gonna forgive nobody? It's at Ephesians 6. Chapter 6.
That's another thing, Theo, what you was talking about. You can't try to feed meat to somebody who's still on milk. You know, you just got to start them off at the beginning and work their way up. You know, so yeah, it ain't never speaking over them or like you know much more, but just being able to present this word to them at a point where they can understand it and actually grasp the knowledge thereof.
And what we have to understand too, that if the Most High has called them, He gonna give you the words to speak and them the ears to hear.
Yeah.
That's right. That's just simple. It's just that.
Ain't no way other way around that. You ain't even gotta know the knowledge, and He gonna give it to you to get to it.
Right. That's why He said, think not what you should say.
Right.
It's going to be given under that very hour. Because if you both seeking the righteousness and the kingdom, it's going to be granted. You ain't got to worry about that.
Yep.
And then you'll go home and be like, man, how was them scriptures pouring out of me like that? Whoa. Man, I didn't even know I knew all this.
I give y'all example. That one lyric I said in one of them songs, when them gold streets inhabit the earth, Matthew 6 and 10, through the blood of Yahweh shall I truly repent. That Matthew 6 and 10, that came in my head. But I went everywhere but to Matthew 6 and 10 looking for it. Was all through the book. I know it's in here, but 6 and 10 still ringing in my head. So then something told me, go to Matthew 6 and 10. Oh, when the kingdom comes, He gave it to me, but I wouldn't listen. I stopped doing that after that day, though. I didn't question it no more after that day.
He just thought it was born.
That's when I realized. That's when I realized who was helping me do all these lyrics. Because I ain't never been no poet or no lyricist. I was never really trying to be an artist. I do beats. You know, I can do beats and can play instruments.
Yeah.
All that other stuff, the Most High gave me that increase. Because I was never trying to do none of it.
Now he our spiritual Nate dog.
That's right. While he over there talking, he got something on wax now too. Yeah, yeah. Coming soon. Coming soon.
Wow. Chapter 6. Let's get it. Whole chapter, brother.
Yeah. You know I like doing whole chapters if you ain't never learned that about me.
Whole chapters.
That way ain't gonna be no, well, Boaz said this. He used this script and made it sound like that. If we read through the whole thing, then we both know what it said.
See, that's why we always tell, read the whole script.
Right.
So, because in the whole script is understanding.
Because when I put my lesson together, it'd be one script here, one script there, one script here. Yeah, but that ain't how it come out when we get in here. And then those become bullet points, as they say. Come on.
All right, we're in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth.
Now, honoring your mother and father give you long life. In this world we got today, it ain't, a lot of this is falling to the wayside. They disrespecting mom and daddy.
Big time.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they ain't got respect for themselves, so they can't respect their mother and father. But then half the time it go back to what the mother and father taught them in the first place. Right. So if you taught them disrespect, you don't deserve no respect. Right. Come on.
And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord.
That's the law, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling, in singleness of your heart, as unto Christ, not with eye service as men pleasers, but as the servants of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart, with good will doing service, as to the Lord and not to men.
The Most High says when you obeying your masters or those who are in charge or in authority, you're not doing it to them, but you're doing it in for the sake of the Most High. Because obedience over sacrifice. So just like in Romans 13, he says, man, these magistrates and these kingdoms and people in authority are not a terror unto you if you're doing right. That's right. If you're being obedient, they're not a terror. Even though you may be persecuted for righteousness' sake, he say, happy are ye. But if you're doing wrong, you ought to be scared. Because they coming for you. They was put in that place to get on your head. So you better be scared.
But if they persecuting you for righteousness, you're a martyr for the word.
Right. So you got a lot of these Israelites.
Some of us need that.
I ain't finna do nothing to be the same. To hell with America. To hell with this. To hell with that. You just a rebel.
What scripture do it say you're going to have success in that? Just show me chapter and verse where setting up your own kingdom going to stop sin from being amongst you.
I think that's the purpose of Messiah telling us that, because he did that. When they came for him, he had kept all the laws of Messiah and man. So
exactly.
When they came for him, he knew it was enough, but for the reason that
he was a martyr for the word.
And not only that, the word of God could not be blasphemed. Because when they asked, well, they want us to pay taxes, they want us to pay tribute. He said, well, whose face is on the money? See, he said, well, render to Caesar what's due. Why are you flexing and kicking against the pricks? They were set up for this. Why are you going against the grain? Still gotta pay it. Christ, he said, go and look in that fish mouth. Get that money out and pay the toll so we can get on about our business. Y'all sitting here clowning about this. I'm not here to take over this, to change things. I'm here to set the record straight. When I come back, then I'll set it all. I'll change all this around, but this ain't the time. I have to come to be an example to y'all how to get it right. What is it called? Get it together. I'm going to teach y'all how to get it together so that you can enter into an eternal rest.
That's where we're trying to get.
But you have to be obedient to do that. How do you be obedient? You have to be obedient to those who are set in authority positions. He said, agree with thine enemy whilst thou art in the way with him, unless he have delivered thee to the judge. And the judge delivered thee to the officer. And you be cast into the prison and you won't come out till you pay the utmost farthing. You won't get it. You're an Israelite.
So every time Negroes try to get out of their responsibilities and go against the grain, guess what? They get dealt with, and then they start crying and whining. Woe is me. Why am I being done like this? Well, nigga, you want to be rebellious.
Well, you had to
Where's
ask.
that written?
You have to ask the question to begin with. Why are we even here under their authority? For transgression.
Bottom line.
Now you gonna fix transgression with, oh, I ain't doing what they say. So you throwing away the Most High's punishment from our forefathers doing wrong?
There's a lot of male Israelites that kind of look negatively at the government and how it supports families. Well,
How it supports
Families.
Well, if you were present in the family like the scripture tell you to,
the government,
They wouldn't be in your business.
they wouldn't be your father. They wouldn't be the father of your household.
that's where I was going.
There's one Negro that's sitting here that's fat-mouthing Israelite, fat-mouthing to the highest level about, I ain't gonna do this country, this government, woo, woo, woo. And I asked this Negro, ain't you on disability? Yeah, nigga, you out there, you heard. Ain't you on disability? Yeah. You on disability.
He gonna say we picking
So
up.
the government is giving you a check every month, right? You ain't working. You sitting on your fat ass and you ain't working. You getting a check every month, right? Yeah. And you sitting here clowning? Government is taking care of your household. You ain't doing nothing. And you sitting here fat mouth. See, you have to look between the lines and peep the BS.
That's why.
Israel.
That's why I say study to show yourself approved, because you will see all this. If you understand these scriptures and watch, you will see all of it.
Negro on disability getting a check every month from the government that he's screaming and clowning about. The government ain't nothing, I ain't gonna do this. Well, if they cut off your money, who's taking care of your household, homie? So the government is the daddy in that house, not you.
Food stamps, Section 8, all of that. All of that.
Get on with that madness, man.
Y'all mad at the government, talking rebellious against the government, but got your damn hand out every month. Let that money not be there, you'd be on the phone. What I need to bring down there?
Well, you got these Negroes that got multiple wives, and their wives are getting government assistance.
Right.
Food stamps, checks, and all that. Miss me with that foolishness. Simp ass nigga. I'm sorry, y'all.
That just show you this a living book, y'all.
Verse 8. Knowing that whatsoever good thing any man doeth, the same shall he receive of the Lord, whether he be bond or free. And ye masters do the same things unto them, forbearing, threatening, knowing that your master also is in heaven, neither is there respect of person with him. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Y'all, we gotta understand that.
Yes, sir.
That's who the real battle is against. This flesh and blood, or that Hebrew over here that said something about me on my post, that ain't your enemy. That's not your real enemy. This is a spiritual battle we in. Wicked ones come after flesh, so you will sin, keep a, oh, my bad. That song ain't out yet. Let me shut up. Keep a guard on your mind and don't let it in. No, not today.
All right.
Actually, I have played it in here though. That's one of the ones that's been done. I just say finished.
Well, hurry up, man, too.
I'm gonna get there. I'm trying to finish with Elijah verse. Come on.
Verse 13. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness.
So you supposed to sit there like a little wimp? That ain't what they're saying. That don't say be no simp either, do it? Okay.
Stand bold.
Come on.
And your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked.
Because they coming. Go ahead.
And take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God.
Hebrews 4:12.
Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. And for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly, to make known the mysteries of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in bonds, that therein I may speak boldly, as I ought to speak, but that ye also may know my affairs, and how I do to Tychicus, a beloved brother and faithful minister in the Lord, shall make known to you all things, whom I have sent unto you for the same purpose, that ye might know our affairs, and that he might comfort your heart. Peace be to the brethren, and love with faith, from God the Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Grace be with all them that love our Lord Jesus Christ in sincerity. Amen.
Amen. All praises. Let's get on back to some more of these Proverbs. Proverbs 27, 28, 29, and 30. We'll try to keep the conversation down, but like we say, every verse in Proverbs, you can go on and talk for 5 minutes.
Yes, sir.
There's a bunch of parables in there.
But you know, even in that Ephesians, you see it says, we wrestle not with flesh and blood. And that's always back to that same thing I always say. Why these brothers running around these Power Ranger outfits if those are supposed to be war clothes, and it's a spiritual war. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Why are you dressed up? You know what I mean? For real.
Dressed up on the outside, but on the inside.
Right. You're warring against what? I don't know.
Elements of the earth.
Like, sure enough.
Wind.
Yeah.
My Captain
Frost. Sleet, rain. I guess they got hoodies and
Yeah, man.
Yeah, did you see what Dante Wilder had on last week when he came out? Dante Wilder.
No, I ain't seen the fight.
They say he know he Israel's. His outfit kind of looked like the Power Ranger suit. So he had mask and crown and everything on.
Shoulder.
I'm sorry, that ain't the kind of crown I want. He had fringes hanging off everything.
Right.
Boys to be seen of men, dog.
He showed up, didn't he? He showed up too.
I ain't hear him give no knowledge to the Most High though.
He did not.
I ain't hear him say it once. I was looking for him to say it.
Well, they don't give knowledge to them either. Power Rangers, because they feel they have the power. It's all on them. They don't acknowledge Christ.
He said,
Well, if they had, they wouldn't, the doctrines that they have wouldn't be so.
He say, I sized them up. Not the Most High gave me the power or the wisdom to size him up. whatever.
Say Proverbs.
Proverbs
27.
27, then 28, then 29, then 30.
Okay.
And then we got another section of Proverbs a little farther down. We're gonna be to read almost all the Proverbs.
Book of
So,
Proverbs, baby.
yeah. Where else is there better to learn how to get it together?
That's right. Proverbs.
Huh?
That's right.
Get that together.
Yes, sir.
What it say, Lion?
Proverbs chapter 27, verse 1. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. Let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to just think about this brother saying that this is about praising another brother. He's going to dedicate a day to praising one of his brethren.
What?
Yeah, man. He said that's what this is about. We supposed to start praising. Like, I'm supposed to spend the day praising Lazarus.
Nah, don't do that.
Man, do you know the stuff I had to fight in my sleep?
Right. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's what this cat said.
Wow.
This was an Israelite.
What context? Like praising them or just
Praising him. He said he giving them all praise and glory today.
Oh.
He woke
I'm
himself
praise
up.
my friend, let another man. That's what he said this is supposed to be.
so not showing appreciation? Like, yeah, I appreciate you.
No. He said he's dedicating that particular day to praise his power. Verse 2, let another man praise thee and not thine own mouth, a stranger and not thine own lips. A stone is heavy and the sand weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. Wrath is cruel and anger is outrageous, but who is able to stand before envy? Open rebuke is better than secret love. You heard that? Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. The kiss of death, is that what Judas did? But the wounds of a friend can hurt you, man. A faithful friend with sorrowful words towards you can break you down.
That sharp tongue.
Verse 7. The full soul loatheth in honeycomb, but to the hungry soul every bitter thing is sweet. As a bird that wandereth from her nest, so is a man that wandereth from his place. Ointment and perfume rejoiceth the heart. So doth sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel. Thine own friend and thy father's friend forsake not. Neither go into thy brother's house in the day of thy calamity. For better is a neighbor that is near than a brother far off. Sometimes a neighbor, a friend is thicker than a brother. Staying closer to you than a brother. My son, be wise and make my heart glad, that I may answer him that reproacheth me. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Like when we bring these truths to people. These is a book of warning. You know, I don't want to hear that. But when you want to know if a nigga sitting at the end of the corner with a shotgun ready to blow your brains out, don't you want somebody to tell you, man, just go the other way, dog. He's sitting down there waiting in the cut for you. Man, what else? Boom!
There it is. I believe when it happened, all right?
Gotta doctor something.
Or God for Gibid, he say, I wish a nigga would. Your wish shall be his command.
Yes. He's waiting to grant you that wish. Verse 13. Take his garment that is surety for a stranger, and take a pledge of him for a strange woman. He that blesseth his friend with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, it shall be counted a curse to him. A continual dropping in a very rainy day and a contentious woman are alike. Whosoever hideth the wind, and the ointment of his right hand which bereath itself. Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. Whoso keep the fig tree shall eat the fruit thereof. So he that waiteth on his master shall be honored. Wait for the Lord. As in water face answereth to face, so the heart of man to man. When you see yourself behold yourself in water, when you see yourself, say you talk the same way from man to man. Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied. As the fining pot for silver and the furnace for gold, so is a man to his praise. Though thou shouldest break a fool in a mortar, among wheat with a pestle, yet will not his foolishness depart from him. Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds. Take care of the flock. Visit the sick, the widows, and the poor. For riches are not forever, and doth the crown endure to every generation? No. The hair appeareth, and the tender grass showeth itself, and herbs of the mountains are gathered. The lambs are for thy clothing, and the goats are the price of the field. And thou shalt have goat's milk enough for thy food, for the food of thy household, and for the maintenance of for thy maidens.
What if you ain't got enough?
You ain't got what?
Enough goat's milk.
What? Most High sustain you. To the Most High.
But you steadily trying to increase.
But you have to work, you have to continue laboring to provide. Just because you don't have enough don't mean you just stop doing what you're doing.
That's right.
You continue laboring. 28.
Chapter 28, yeah.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 28 and verse 1. The wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion. For the transgression of a land, many are the princes thereof. But by a man of understanding and knowledge, the state thereof shall be prolonged. A poor man that oppresseth the poor is like a sweeping rain which leaveth no food. They that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them. Evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek the Most High understand all things. Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways though he be rich. Though he be rich. Whoso keepeth the law is a wise son, but he that is a companion of riotous men shameth his father. He that by usury and unjust gain increaseth his substance, he shall gather it for him that will pity the poor. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination.
But I thought the law was done away with, y'all. Huh? You turn away from the law, your prayers are an abomination.
Verse 10.
That's terrible.
Whoso causeth the righteous to go astray in an evil way, he shall fall himself into his own pit. But the upright shall have good things in possession. The rich man is wise in his own conceit, but the poor that hath understanding searcheth him out. When righteous men do rejoice, there is great glory. But when the wicked rise, a man is hidden. He that covereth his sins shall not prosper, but whoso confesseth and forsaketh them shall have mercy. Happy is the man that feareth always, but he that hardeneth his heart shall fall into mischief. As a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the over the poor people. The prince that wanteth understanding is also a great oppressor. But he that hateth covetousness shall prolong his days. A man that doeth violence to the blood of any person shall flee to the pit. Let no man stay him.
Lead to the people.
Whoso walketh uprightly shall be saved. But he that is perverse in his ways shall fall at once. He that tilleth his land shall have plenty of bread, but he that followeth after vain persons shall have poverty enough.
That's a good one, ain't it?
That's what I'm saying. That's eating off another man's table.
Yeah.
Huh?
Man, I ain't finna work for my own. I'm gonna follow you and get what you got.
Yeah. What we eating today, dog? Your wife cooking?
I ain't working.
Your wife cooking? She should be home from work any minute right now, right?
That might be some hands.
She get off at 3:30, don't she? Ain't she cooking something? What she gonna cook us today?
Well, that sounds like some hands getting on. Man,
Verse 20.
your wife cooking?
And know what time she get home, boy.
Know what time she walked through the door?
That's super big.
Well, you paying too much attention to my house. I'm gonna have to banish you at once.
Yes, indeed. Dog, you ain't welcome.
You can't come back around here. You know too much about what's going on.
Unless you flee to the pit.
Verse 20. A faithful man shall abound with blessings, but he that maketh haste to be rich shall not be innocent. To have respect of person is not good, for a piece of bread that man will transgress. He that hasteth to be rich hath an evil eye, and considereth not the poverty shall come upon him. He that rebuketh a man afterward shall find more favor than he that flattereth with the tongue. Whoso robbeth his father or his mother, and saith, it is no transgression, the same is the companion of a destroyer.
Now, if you robbing your father and your mother, don't come around me.
Ain't no honor for your.
I don't even want to. We got to part ways. Cause you scandalous.
Yeah.
Scandalous.
Verse 25.
Wait. So just so we know, if I ask some suckers on my little desk, and my child come and take this sucker, he robbing me, right?
Hey,
Put your suckers up, man.
Don't tip your son, man. Why you gonna tip your child? And then you gonna punish him.
What I was gonna say is has he reached the state of accountability yet? Has he reached accountability yet?
Am I asking you?
No. We ain't talking about in your eyes.
He said this,
Because if he ain't reached accountability,
man, that's a trap.
That's your fault. That's your fault.
And you gonna put them out on the you hide them suckers. Why you gonna put them out on the desk? And you teach your child.
Hey, you still got young kids. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I'm gonna get you prepared already. This gonna solve all that. Put you a lock on your door, and everything you don't want them to touch, keep it in your room. I'm just telling you, bro. I'm just giving you some free knowledge right there.
My young child will put my doodles and wham-whams in the car trunk. This little cat. This little cat fine stuff, man. When we upstairs, he's downstairs asleep. And I always catch it because I'm on the computer or something. I heard a little peep go. What you down here for? Hey, boy, get your little butt back upstairs. Nothing.
Verse 25.
Nothing now.
Didn't know you was there.
Verse 25. He that is of a proud heart stirreth up strife, but he that putteth his trust in the Most High shall be made fat. He that hey, don't get personal. Verse 20.
I don't think it's talking about that fat.
We're gonna let those lads talk about Yeah, that's that sneak diss y'all talking about earlier. Verse 26. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool, but whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered. He that giveth unto the poor shall not lack, but he that hideth his eyes shall have many a curse.
That's where it gets into that you're not supposed to be looking away from the poor. You know,
No,
look him in his eye and tell him you ain't got it.
I ain't got it. Just that simple.
Verse 28. When the wicked rise, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase. Going to chapter 29.
29, keep it rolling.
He that being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn, like the orange pervert. Verse 3.
But he's still placed there by the Most High, y'all.
Yeah, for a purpose.
For a purpose.
Yeah. Verse 3. Whoso loveth wisdom rejoiceth his father, but he that keepeth company with harlots spendeth his money, spendeth his substance, which is his money. You know what I mean?
He's spending everything.
I was going to say, that's one of my confessions.
What did Judah do?
Yeah, left his signet and
His substance. He
Yeah.
gave up his substance.
Well, I can say I'm truly one of Judah's sons. I've given up my substance. I don't do that no more, though.
Right.
You better correct that. Real quick like.
Now, if
Real quick like.
Verse 4. The king by judgment establisheth the land, but he that receiveth gifts overthroweth it. A man that flattereth his neighbor spreadeth a net for his feet. In the transgression of an evil man there is a snare, but the righteous doth sing and rejoice. The righteous considereth the cause of the poor, but the wicked regardeth not to know it. Scornful men bring a city into a snare, but wise men turneth away wrath. If a wise man contendeth with a foolish man, whether he rage or laugh, there is no rest. The bloodthirsty hate the upright, but the just seek his soul. A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards. If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. The poor and the deceitful man meet together. Yahweh lighteneth both their eyes. The king that faithfully judgeth the poor, his throne shall be established forever. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame.
I be seeing these kids out here bringing their mother to shame. Oh, Billy.
Or they left in the house and the house catch on fire.
Yeah, just happened. Verse 16. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall. Correct thy son, and he shall give thee rest. Yea, he shall give delight unto thy soul. Where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. A servant will not be corrected by words, for though he understand, he will not answer. Seest thou a man that is hasty in his words? There is more hope of a fool than of him. He that delicately bringeth up his servant from a child shall have him become his son at the length.
That what Abraham did with El.
Yep. An angry man stirreth up strife, and a furious man aboundeth in transgression. A man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. Whoso is partnered with a thief hateth his own soul. He heareth cursing and bewrayeth it not. The fear of man bringeth a snare, but whoso putteth his trust in the Most High shall be safe. Many seek the ruler's favor, but every man's judgment cometh from Yahweh. An unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way is abomination to the wicked.
All right, let's go. Keep on going into chapter 30. Because Proverbs will help you get that together. That's what we're trying to do, ain't it?
So,
We're trying to get that life together. No longer living like we used to live, doing the things we used to do.
that's right.
Stirring up strife, clowning,
Yep.
although we still have that around us. So that just means you got to be very sharp. Because this war ain't against flesh and blood. You think it's your brother that you mad at, that's that demon that came over there and said that to you. But that's your brother who you just hit. Huh? We war not against flesh and blood, y'all.
That's right.
Right, bro.
Come on, chapter 30.
Chapter 30, Proverbs chapter 30, verse 1. The words of Agar, the son of Jakeh, even the prophecy, the man spake unto Ivel, even unto Ivel and Ucal. Surely I am more brutish than any man, and have not the understanding of man. I neither learned wisdom, nor have the knowledge of the holy. Who hath ascended up into heaven or descended? Who hath gathered the wind in his fist? Who hath bound the waters in garment? Who hath established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? Every word of God is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. Add thou not unto his word, lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar. Two things have I required of thee. Deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my God in vain. Accuse not a servant unto his master, lest he curse thee, and thou be found guilty. There is a generation that curses their father, and doth not bless their mother. There is a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet is not washed from their filthiness. There is a generation, oh how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up.
Sound like this generation.
I was sure thinking that in my head. You can look around and see that right now.
Right. There is a generation whose teeth are as swords, and their jaw teeth as knives. to devour the poor from off the earth, and the needy from among them. The horse leech hath 2 daughters, crying, give, give. There are 3 things that are never satisfied. Yea, 4 things say not, it is enough. The grave
is never full.
And the barren womb, the earth that is not filled with water, and the fire that saith not, it is enough. The eye that mocketh at his father, and despiseth to obey his mother. The ravens of the valley shall pick it out, and the young eagle shall eat it. There be 3 things which are too wonderful for me, yea, 4 which I know not. The way of an eagle in the earth, the way of a serpent upon a rock, the way of a ship in the midst of the sea, and the way of a man with a maid. Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth, and said, I have done no wickedness.
Ain't that what he did? She eateth and wipeth her mouth and said, I have done no wickedness. Now, woman can eat it in 2 ways. She consumes in 2 ways. Doctrine, as well as adultery and fornication. But there's also spiritual fornication. Accepting the doctrine of that which is not of the Most High and His Holy Begotten Son.
Verse 21. For 3 things the earth is disquieted, and for 4 which it cannot bear. For a servant when he reigneth, and a fool when he is filled with meat. For an odious woman when she is married, and an handmaid that is heir to her mistress. There be 4 things which are little upon the earth, but they are exceeding wise. The ants are a people not strong, yet they prepare their meat in the summer. The conies are but a feeble folk, yet make they their houses in the rocks. The locusts have no king, yet go they forth all of them by bands. The spider taketh hold with her hands, and is in kings' palaces. There be 3 things which go well, yea, 4 are calmly in going. A lion which is strongest among beasts, and turneth not away for any. A greyhound, and he goat also, and a king against whom there is no rising up. If thou hast done foolishly in lifting up thyself, or if thou hast thought evil, lay thy hand upon thy mouth. Surely the churning of milk bringeth forth butter, and the ringing of the nose bringeth forth blood. So the forcing of wrath bringeth forth strife.
Like you forcing you, rubbing the hell out your nose.
We're going to hit up Psalms 139 now. Read some more about how to get that together so we can know how we supposed to be acting out here. Because the way we see Israel acting, that ain't it.
Far from it.
That ain't it.
And we are controlling that. We're talking about the Israel that know it. Israel that know it. Yeah. We are out of control.
Bumps of wickedness.
Some of them ain't even got bumps, just wicked.
An exceeded bump.
The bump ain't even manifested. It's just wicked.
Just wicked.
Let out.
All right, Psalms 139, starting at verse 1. O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. Thou knowest my down sitting and my uprising. Thou understandest my thoughts afar off. Thou compassest my path and my lying down, and art acquainted with all my ways.
Well, it sounds like this, he know everything about you.
Right.
So who you fooling? Yourself.
Right.
You fooling yourself before you fooling him.
Exactly.
Come on.
For there is not a word in my tongue, but lo, O Lord, thou knowest it altogether. Thou hast beset me behind and before, and laid thy hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain unto it. Whither shall I go from thy spirit, or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me.
Nowhere to
Why are you
run.
fleeing?
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Why are you fleeing? The Most High said, I can deliver you from wherever you are. So, why flee? Why the flee doctrine?
You fleeing because you're wicked. And you trying to find a way to remain wicked.
Yes. Or try to escape your transgressions.
The wicked run when none pursue it.
Like one of our brothers who believed in the flee doctrine and traveled the world only to come back to St. Louis and to find out that he was fleeing because of child support.
Wow.
Ran out of money, so he had to come back. Oops.
You think he'd have took that money he was spending in travel and take?
I just don't get it.
Wow.
I don't get it. That's money you could have just gone and paid off or get the lawyer, get your children.
I'm a living testimony. You can walk all that down. I did.
It just depends on what it is, your responsibility levels to your children.
And I think that's something that our men don't take the time to learn. From when your child is born, you can avoid all of that simply by, even if you're in a minor, making sure your name is on their birth certificate. Requesting joint custody as opposed to giving her all custody, and that eliminates that whole child.
See, what it comes down to, sister, Negroes don't want no responsibility.
Yeah, they running from the responsibility.
They don't want no responsibility, they just want to run around, haphazardly in their life, doing whatever they want, when they want, how they want. But yet they want to scream, oh, the Lord, Christ, all this. That's speaking the Most High's name in vain. That's taking his name in vain.
You're going to give it to a big ass job.
How you going to care for them? Because then they're going to be back into the government's care.
Who would want to choke their kids out of it?
No doubt. Choke.
If you don't choke them out, somebody else gonna choke them out.
At least you'll have the
At least you'll let him go before it's over.
Right.
You can get it. You come on man and kick.
You don't send some people over your house.
Yeah.
Something ain't right on your doors, bro.
You come on man.
I think your baby in harm's way.
Check on you, Theo, man. We
coming over, man.
We coming through, Theo,
We
man.
think the youngsters
I'm
need to
getting
build.
it.
We think now you need little sisters, man.
Come get it.
Verse 11.
I don't understand.
We don't understand. We don't understand you choking babies out for snacks.
First of all, in my defense, baby was like snacks. First of all, you know, he like, I know how you feel about food. You know, so I work hard for it. To have this come in, this act about their own stuff. So that's what get me. They got their own separate stuff. They might be their stuff. That come all
You don't call people's stuff taste better?
Hey, you ever had a free beer before? It tastes a whole lot better than the beer you bought, I'm telling you.
And it's cold.
It hit a little different.
All right, verse 11. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall be the light about me. Yea, the darkness hideth not from thee, but the night shineth as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to thee. For thou hast possessed my reins, thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. My substance was not hid from thee, when I was made in secret, and curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Thine eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect, and in thy book all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them. How precious also are thy thoughts unto me, O God! How great is the sum of them! If I should count them, they are more in number than the sand. When I awake, I am still with thee. Surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O God. Depart from me, therefore, ye bloody men. For they speak against thee wickedly, and thy enemies take thy name in vain. Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee? And am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee? I hate them with perfect hatred. I count them my enemies.
And that perfect hatred is when they blaspheme against everything under all his righteousness. They say his laws are no good. They say Christ come from a man. You know, all these things is hatred towards the Most High and his righteousness.
Verse 23, search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting.
All right, we're going to go to Romans chapter 13 and Romans chapter 14. Matter of fact, y'all write these down, because ain't no way we finna get to all
About to say that.
Homework.
Matthew chapter 5 and 6. Hebrews chapter 12. I'm going to put them on the board too while he reading these next ones. Matthew chapter 5 and 6. Hebrews 12. Ephesians 5. 1 Peter's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Romans 5. Luke 6, 20 to the end. Proverbs chapter 11, 12. Matter of fact, 9 through 13.
You talking about me and my notes.
John chapter 15. Then 1 John, well, we'll hit that 1 John and James. No, we ain't. 1 John chapter 2, 15 through 17, and James chapter 4 all. And if you read those, that should give you some understanding on how to get it together.
That should suffice for a week.
Yeah. That'll get you through the next week, you know, and you should come in with more understanding and should be better than got yourself together. That's the whole goal, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. Hold on, you asking people when you live with me? Oh, you telling them? Oh, okay, my bad. Like, you can look at my notes whenever. What you asking them for?
minute, what's going on?
My bad. I was just making sure my house was straight. That's all. Forgive me.
You all right, bro?
Yeah, I'm all right. I be tripping.
1 John 2
Yeah, so,
in James.
What did I say? Oh, Romans chapter 13. Romans chapter 13. That's where we going. That's what's next on the agenda. Romans chapter 13.
13 and 14. Oh, okay, yeah, that is 2 chapters.
Yeah, it was 2, 13 and 14. Yeah.
That's your
You thought it was just verse 13 and 14? No.
13, verse 14. It's all of it, 13 and all of 14.
That's right, okay, that's right.
It's all like,
Oh, so you was asking questions.
Which one are you doing now?
Oh, okay. All right.
Romans 13. Just live on what it is.
That's the spirit of the Most High on me, y'all. That's all it is. Keeping things in order.
Yes. It's all good, brother.
We got it. Romans chapter 13.
Romans chapter 13, verse 1.
Wait on them brothers to give you notes to
You gonna post that in the chat? They asking.
yeah.
I'll get you now.
All right.
I wasn't ready to do all this.
Romans chapter 13, verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of Yahweh. The powers that be are ordained of Yahweh. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of Yahweh.
So if you resisting the powers that govern this state and this county, the Most High put them there. And we under subjection to them because of the obedience of our forefathers. But you want to try to override that? Huh? Oh, the Most High didn't know what he was doing for that one?
Well, he got, here's the consequence.
Oh, I already know what's going to come.
Here's the consequence. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of Yahweh, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation.
Huh? You want to resist these powers?
Wow.
Huh? I want that. You want to start your own government?
You sovereign?
You gonna get all the way away from them? How? How you gonna get away from them? Y'all can start all the camps you want. Have all the acreage you want. Sin gonna be there with you. How you gonna get away from that?
Right. But if you're not working for the government, how you gonna have money to buy food and seed and stuff and pay your taxes on your land? Because in 3 years, it ain't gonna be your land no more. Don't pay the taxes on it.
True.
You still giving Caesar what's Caesar.
Exactly.
You ain't getting around it.
You get a car, you gotta pay taxes, personal property tax.
Every year.
Sales taxes.
Who is that going to?
Caesar. Right.
Negroes out of their money.
Say you don't get no plates. Now you going back and forth to court because they keep pulling you over. You can avoid it all you want to. He taking your time, so you giving Caesar something.
And if you get thrown in jail, guess what? You giving Caesar your time and that money too. Because when you get out, if you get out and get a job, you still gotta send.
You still owe that money.
Being in his prison. He want money for being in his prison. Yes, you have to pay to be locked up. You paying for your incarceration. You didn't know that?
Yeah, you owe money now.
You owe money to Caesar. He charging you for room and board. You didn't know that too?
That's like in Solomon the Lord when they robbed them people that charged them out to brush their
Yeah. When the dude bust his head with the brick, he charged him for that brick.
Leave on the shirt.
Man, you done bled on my shirt. You owe me. You done bled on my brick. You owe me.
Wait. So So they make money off you while you're there.
Right.
Yes.
They charge you.
Yes. Yeah, they want their money back.
Yes.
For you being in there.
Cause see, the citizens pay taxes
To support.
to support the incarcerated.
Right.
Okay.
The government want a payback.
But what about the money they make when they get in there?
They don't, that's none of your concerns. I want to know if you got this booking fee that I'm charging you for getting locked up. Do you have this $200 booking fee?
Ask any cat.
And that's soon as you get in there.
If and when they get employment, a portion comes out of their check that goes back to the prison system.
And don't say, let's say your family send you some money on your books.
You don't get off.
You got a booking fee of $200, that's coming out first.
Yes.
So if you want $20, you better tell them to send you $220.
See, that's how.
Because they're going to take that booking fee first.
See how it's set up? You pay for your disobedience.
Wait. So if I send somebody $1.50, I have to send them $201.50.
Yeah.
It just depends on
Hey, if you send them $1.50, don't send them nothing. Because when they get out, they're going to come looking for your man.
Yes, sir.
Our class knows that the judicial system is on the New York Stock Exchange.
Yes.
It's a business.
Yes.
It's like everybody understand it. And this business, they'll never run out of commodity, you and I.
No.
See, they'll never run out of it. So Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan.
He been in it.
Yeah,
He been in it.
Yeah. So hey.
Yeah, he invested in it. That's where he making some change, some extra coins from.
He been making money off prisons for years. He just now giving to some homeless or whatever he just gave to.
It's no
That's the
different
first time I heard of that.
But it's no different than what the Shriners do.
Yeah, same thing.
They have a history of murder, mayhem, extortion, and all that. But on the other hand, they
help
set up a
children.
hospital for children. And so the public say, oh, they're a good organization. Without knowing their past.
That's a Jedi mind trick.
They wear a red fez. That fez is a mark of murder.
Yeah.
Where they went through the city of Fez and dipped their hats in the blood of the martyrs.
Yep.
That's what those red fezes represent.
Now they proudly wear it.
Murder of the infidels. Those who didn't bow down to Muhammad. So they murdered everybody in the city of Fez, and those who were riders for Muhammad, they went by and they dipped their hats in their blood. That's what the red fezes represent. Look it up. Murder.
Masons, they're a form of masonry.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's what it is, another form of masonry. Yeah, you thought they was all good, wholesome boys, didn't you? All right, where we at?
Verse 4. No, verse 3. For rulers are not a terror, wherefore ye must needs be subject, not only for wrath.
That what she, and this is not he said, she said, it's just question. So when she goes, when she comes, she doesn't have any guilt or anything like that. She just feels like she can just do it. And so when the person told her she was not allowed to come to the house anymore, she didn't have any, didn't think, she thought that the female was wrong for telling her that. And she said, I don't want anything to do with you anymore. But she felt as though she was wrong, and she said, well, you're one of those Christians, or Hebrew, what she called Christians. She said, you're one of those Christians, and you're supposed to forgive. Whether I do it 7 times or 70 times, you're supposed to forgive.
And she ain't repented.
And she never repented.
That's like my children.
No, you just...
Hey, we coming to your house, because you doing them babies wrong. I can feel it.
We coming to see you, T.O.
We gonna watch y'all on the date.
Wow. wash your hands of it, you don't hate her or anything like that. Now, am I totally correct?
No, just forbid her from coming around, because it's gonna create more strife than it's gonna do
It's
anything
back now.
else.
It's back. It's back.
Yeah, you good?
I was getting ready to tell you, don't touch nothing over there.
No, it's all-
Ain't nobody been over there.
Look at that. If your
It just
man
came back on mine.
Yeah, it did.
cut it off. It's better to enter into the kingdom whole than to have that. You can't do it, because all it's gonna do is create so much strife that it may come to blows. And that one sister who's trying to be on the right path, lose it all. She can lose it all. So we have to put off these spirits that's why I said try the spirit of every man. Don't be quick to even count a friend without trying that friend first.
That's right.
So it goes double for your family. Family gonna hurt you quicker, because they closest to you. And they think, oh, I can get by with it because we family. Ain't no strife we ain't gonna come to blows over this, we family.